those rival guys.
Oh, I thought they're playing Armada right now,
Simplicity
but they're playing
is definitely
Sanguine. I was
a
like,
top
woo,
contender
I didn't understand
coming out of that
it.
European minor league, and Sanguine know that they're underdogs. They don't really have a whole lot to lose here. Nobody's really expecting Sanguine to win, I think, for the most part, other than the fan base, of course. Shout outs to those guys. And
oh yeah.
I completely understand why you'd want to rally behind the LATM fellows over there on Sanguine. It's just, it's going to be a tough matchup, but Simplicity sounded maybe a little too confident.
Well, they've gotten Maniac over there in the solo lane going up against, in this case, a sub. One with plenty of experience. Oxy's been around the scene for a minute now, but it's hard to top someone like Maniac. I mean, this guy has been on all kinds of top teams. He had a long run there with Energy for a while where he looked really strong, so I don't know, man. That's a tough matchup. Sanguine said they want to try and focus though on the duo side of the map. They know they probably won't be able to outclass Maniac there, so Simplicity can't let them detract focus onto that matchup. They need to try and bully over in solo and then have Maniac rotate.
Already a tough decision though needing to be made from
Erlang banned with Freyr, Yorm, Osiris, and Sanguine. I guess they're pretty scared for solo lane when it comes down to the substitute lane.
Definitely likes to pursue, and Simplicity will answer back. I like the removal of Freya. It's too risky to permit Nethrioid or Shinto to have
I don't think
that
it's a problem
option.
though.
It does mean, though, that Merlin's coming in, and you definitely don't want to give that one to Shinto, but he doesn't want it. The Amuzin Cobb picked even over Merlin, and this could go mid or support, or not mid or hunter, excuse me. And I do think Amuzin Cobb more likely feels a little bit mid, but I'm a bit surprised that they value the Amuzin Cobb.
Probably.
I mean, Merlin is open. Hello?
Actually, I'm not sure. Merlin could be a solid response here for Simplicity, but if you're picking Merlin for Death Panther,
But Kronos is open
that could
as
be
well.
a little bit awkward because Sanguine have the flexibility right now with this Amuzin Cobb. It can be for Shinto or it could be for Nethrioid.
Yes.
But I think that
Terra Merlin.
Simplicity might
Terra
even
Kronos.
try and hold on to Death Panther's
Kronos and Merlin, yeah?
to maybe try and force Sanguine into revealing
Kronos.
which comes first. But Kronos, as that secondary option, he is also
But if they get
being
MC
heavily
Merlin
sought
as well, that's
after
pretty scary.
by a lot of teams in competitive play. Definitely brings a lot of early game kill potential as well.
Naja comes in for Sanguine, someone we've seen a little bit less of lately, which has surprised me. Naja still plenty strong in the support role in the jungle wherever you want him, though with Horus locked in, it might be a little bit more like jungle Naja and support Horus. This god's got plenty to talk about. Knock up stun, heals, the dash, and then of course there's the big flashy ultimate, which doesn't always get a ton of value, but he's plenty strong even without it.
Horus feels strongly, though, like a win more type of god. So
Yes,
when I
that's
see
a good point.
Sanguine opting for Horus in their top three,
He really
that
starts
leads
from
me
high.
to believe that Sanguine want that
King
early
Arthur.
game to be entirely in their favor.
I guess King Arthur is good when they play against the solo and he's giving away a lot of pressure.
It could be tough for Sanguine to try and overwhelm them outright. Kronos, King Arthur, Terra, these are all gods with a ton of self-sustain and survivability that are going to be difficult to get some early ganks off on successfully.
Yeah, and King Arthur is one that not only does Maniac really like, but can absolutely bully a lane and then translate that lead into the rest of the map. So that is a bit scary, that Simplicity have grabbed it. But I don't know, man, Sanguine's first picks here are no slouches by any means. Naja, Amuzin Cobb, and Horus all give them great presence throughout the early game. Like you said, if they fall behind, the Horus is some dead weight. But if they don't fall behind, Horus is great, and he's a ton of setup, and he can actually provide some
I understand the
damage
silent pin
in his own
ban
right,
since
too.
they have King Arthur
Is your
Terra.
worst case scenario is essentially
make,
the idea
make
here
sense
for
about that.
Sanguine throughout the duration of those laning phases. But with Pele being removed, that does take away a pretty strong pressure option for Fails here. But Fails has kind of been all over the place. I'd like to see Reddit Tosker, though, as a candidate for that fourth ban selection. That's another default go-to that Fails really likes to lean on.
Taco, am I missing something? Merlin's still here, right? What's going on right now? I mean, I understand banning Zeus. Besides, it makes sense for Simplicity, right? Because if they want Merlin, they don't need to ban it in this spot, and they'll be picking right afterwards. But Sanguine not worried about it at this point. Maybe their competent Kronos is going in that slot, or that Simplicity just don't want to play it. But, I mean, I don't know, man. I think you pick him.
Merlin is pretty good with Terra, though.
Many mid laners want to try and tango with an Amuzin Cobb. Merlin, as strong as he can be, is still not going to typically overpower the Amuzin Cobb. Just too much clear potential.
Sure.
Too much kill
Well, I know what they're
potential
gonna pick,
as well
actually.
with the Stinger as soon as you level 5, and then the Merlin can't even flicker away.
You're right. I mean, Amuzin Cobb is a real bully in the middle lane. That's a lot of why his value has risen lately. And we saw what Griff was able to do with it last set. He wasn't in the middle lane, but the night and day difference between when he was on the Amuzin Cobb and his other two games where he really struggled, I mean, a lot of it can be attributed, I think, to just how strong this god can be, especially in lane.
Definitely not fun to play against. That I know for sure. And Simplicity still sitting
You don't
heavy.
love playing against the bees, Taco,
You know,
and all the free
something
movement
about
speed,
the
attack
entire,
speed, and slows, and cripples.
No,
and
I love the enemy team being able to clear the wave with one ability. What are you talking about, Fish? That's sick.
That makes you happy. Simplicity thinking a good while on this next pick.
The Uller
and it's
again.
Uller. Now that's a ton of pressure. We don't see Uller as much anymore, but do you think we're seeing Kronos then ADC, Uller mid in this scenario?
It's still a flex at this point.
I want to see it. Shinto, I know you got it for me too. I'm just curious as to whether or not I'll actually choose to bring it out.
And then put a Musakab ADC then for Netroid and have Shinto.
I guess it's pretty good for
Yes,
Simplicity also, like,
that's
hiding
kind
a
of
few of the
along
picks.
the lines
Just
of where I'm thinking.
sticking
But
with Uller.
The main reason for the Hamboa is just
Ooh,
because
hella,
it's something that he
hella,
knows.
hella.
But Sanguine would rather take their chances with the risk versus reward
Boop,
composition.
boop,
If they can get this
boop.
healer and sustain to
Ooh,
actually stay
not sure, like
viable
R2.
throughout
R2's
the
not that
early
really
game
good,
portion,
right?
then
Really good right now.
Simplicity could be in some
It's
trouble.
good into Terra and
I
Arthur
also
though.
think that this Artio, so then Artio, do you think is solo to try and go up against the King Arthur, put that cripple field there for him? This works. You can pick up Guardian's Blessing. It's a little bit more okay if you lose pressure because you're on the
You're starting to break on Monday.
Still,
Ooh,
it's
are you excited?
kinda like giving Maniac a free lane, I feel like.
Are you
Not
excited?
necessarily.
But just not
King
all.
Arthur is definitely going to have his clear potential slowed down from the Artio. While Artio, I don't expect her to have solo potential against Maniac.
Right.
All Oxy's really looking
They have a
to
lot of
accomplish
heals.
is just to keep Maniac confined
They
to
get
that
fucked by
solo
anti-heal.
lane. You just don't want this Arthur being able to have any sort of early to mid game influence by rotating out.
They need to get a jungler who can apply either Brawler to Divine Wind, pretty easy.
Reliably.
Divine,
He doesn't really have to put
really good
himself
pick
out
here.
of position against the King Arthur.
Well, Robin gives them some excellent dive position or dive potential to round out Simplicity's draft here.
Hello,
Remember
Infinite,
earlier you were
what's good?
saying Horus feels like a god where we don't necessarily want to stalemate, you know, because he can feel kind of rough late. Well, now that you add in this Hell, that's a nice little insurance policy, isn't it? Even if you do fall behind, Hell's going to be great
see what they're gonna
no
do.
matter what, as long as you can get her there. Sanguine, though, still feels a little bit more all in to me. They really, really don't want to fall behind early.
I do think it's important to add, though, that as far as a Divine Ruin is concerned, could be tough for Kronos to want to feel comfortable picking that one up. So I think that a lot of
Toxic
the
Blade
anti-heal
triple
options
fire.
are going to fall onto the responsibility of Uller and the Robin.
Yeah.
And when it comes to Hell, I'm not sure that that'll necessarily be enough. Simplicity are going to have to smother and take that Hell out before she has a chance to get those cleanses.
Terra
and
can
those
get
team
Toxic Blade
kills off.
I imagine
Divine Wind
that's
as well
Robin's
as
job
anything.
too, not just in terms of
It
building
should be
the
fine with
infield,
Pestilence
just sitting
Brawlers.
on this Hell. That's why I do think they did a great job picking it here, because they don't have people who apply anti-heal particularly great or who dive the Hell particularly great for what it's worth. It's largely going to be up to Fail, as I imagine, who they're giving this Robin to try and get this job done. But just based on paper, what you're seeing here, you lean more towards Sanguine or Simplicity?
I like Sanguine's draft more, but I know what Simplicity are capable of.
Well, let's see if Simplicity are capable as much as you think, or if the Sanguine draft will win out. Let's move into game number 1 with the casters.
Thank you so much, Finch and Taco on the desk. With myself, joined by Anatoly, and of course Doug in the observation booth here for this one. Sanguine, the LATAM team that's been around for a while now, with a very sustain-orientated composition put out here today. And my interest is going to be on how well Shinto can pilot this Hell in the mid lane.
I love the draft. Being able to protect the backline is key for Sanguine to
Is
survive
key.
against the nature of Simplicity. They've played aggressive.
Are you excited for the
yesterday
new job
against
then?
Nemesis, probably going to
Lots
play
of testing
aggressive
and
again
background
today.
check.
Death Panther on
Wait,
a
what kind of
signature
job is it,
hunter middle.
Fat-headed?
Uller, I think, is the key to Simplicity's success. So Sanguine going to probably rely on Shinto's Hell, like you mentioned, probably picking up the Lotus Crown.
Isn't the
to
music
get
a bit loud right
protections,
now?
to synergize more with also Rangyu's heal that gives protection.
That's a good point. Hold that thought. Janex just blinked over a wall here on the Terra to try and get in range to try and cause problems at the speed buff. We're going to see Shinto just fall straight to the mid
stolen.
lane as the buff is stripped away by Genetics. He puts his hand in the air in justice triumph.
He's fucking
knowing
stole
that
it.
that blink investment ends up playing dividends.
Going straight to
for the
blue, that's what he should
support
do.
line.
That's
What
really
a
good play by
smart
Genetics.
play out of Genetics. He just played complete mind games there, being able to blink over a potential ward that was somewhere around the corner, so completely blindsiding Sanguine.
Oxlade had a chance there to put a bit of pressure on Maniac, but with sustained potions ticking, not too
Maniac's
much
gonna get a lead now as well, which is not good.
Powerhouse Maniac back in action once again. Simplicity.
I wonder if Turek
last
can do
European
the small. He
bastion
should be able to do
standing.
smalls
And I
regardless.
don't
Or he
say
can get
that
everything now.
jokingly because, you know, all
Because
the
they're gonna
teams
see
live
Nishan
in
mid, so
these
Turek is gonna
days,
commit to the
so
back camps.
Simplicity really is the European representative at this tournament.
With Flashpoint losing to Hype Unit, a very impressive performance from the console scene. Fails though in a little bit of
Stun.
trouble.
Beach used and a trade is going to happen. Panitom will get the kill onto Fails, and Panther couldn't get a turnaround. The blinking from Rongyu might just be right.
Ooh.
And it is, as Rongyu with the blink fracture combo updraft will set up a second
After
kill
such
for
a good
Sanguine.
start, it's sad to
And
see the
already, I
Diamond.
think Hawk might be eating a couple of words from that interview.
Hinduman, even though Simplicity might have stolen away that speed buff, I'd rather be in Sanguine's shoes here with 2 early kills.
I don't
like
think
this,
it's too bad,
Panitom
though.
can easily still play
Like,
catch
Archie's
up.
gonna get
He even
fucked,
picked up
and
the
Maniac
red
can
buff
carry
to
the game.
compensate for not
Surely.
being able to pick up his own speed buff. A great start getting that first blood. Great rotation from Braun.
9-11 dispatch of
leaving
a
Netroid
Punisher.
alone
Oh,
just for a
shit.
moment to get a second kill.
Yeah, I think the kill
I can
onto
understand why they
Phantom
need to do
Sash in
all
is
the background
surprising one for me,
testing
mainly
and
because
all
I
that.
don't think a lot of people expect the aggression at that level, especially onto a Rav and Ul combination in the mid lane. I think that kind of caught Simplicity with the pants down a little bit there. They were a bit surprised by that one and get punished quite heavily through it.
See, Robin can definitely get away.
Dying
with
at that,
those
I don't think it
plays,
matters
but
too much,
this
honestly.
Early in the game, being only level 2, you only have access to the overhead kick and the Prada onslaught.
Genetics has the blink available. Netroid wants to box.
Oh, he
with
should have
Streak
waited-
up,
he
but
should have
didn't
waited a bit of
realise the
stun
terror
if it
was
comes to the
right
beats.
behind him. The good news is, though, beats were consumed by Netroid, and he will survive for the time being. But it's now
If Genetics was still free, that would have been a kill, yeah.
susceptible to this Hunter.
But I guess
This
even if he
is the
gets a stun
matchup
after
to
the beats,
watch
it's
the
not
whole
gonna...
entire set. The Hunter versus Hunter matchup.
Not gonna match too
Both
much.
of them really popped off in their former sets. Streak Up playing the Merlin and the Chronos against Nemesis didn't give up a single death. Whereas Netroid also had a great showing on the Musenkov, going 4-1-10 and 13-1-4 on the Jing Wei. I expect a lot of fireworks, so any sort of support rotations or even jungle ganks to tip the scales could be the advantage to open the Gold Fury.
Well, the blue buff this time on the right-hand side won't be invaded by Simplicity, as now Panitom will make it over.
Oh, they actually didn't get
Full
single
credit
blue
to
buff.
Panitom as well, take into account. The first blood came because of his engagement there, and it was also the fact that he lost his speed.
You
buff
see what's
early
gonna
on as
happen.
well. This was a big swing for Sanguine to get back onto an even keel and now get a bit of a lead because of it.
Honestly, it probably favored Sanguine that he was able to at least pick up the red buff to get extra damage in that small encounter. And obviously, you can't forget from Rongyu making it a 3-on-1 to get that second kill. Panitom, not a stranger to playing aggressive. He put himself in a great position, and he had trust in his teammates to capitalize.
Now, there's been a little bit of talk so far, Toli, about the amount of sustain that's going to be available for Sanguine in this composition. Every single one of them actually has sustain.
I can't wait to see what the build is gonna be like.
That's including if you include the hives from the likes of an Amuse and Cobb. Anti-heal is going to be important, and I'm looking at Raven and I'm looking at Ul. They both brawlers, beat stick gods, but is a brawler's going to be enough? They're going to need pestilence somewhere too, surely.
I agree that healing might be an issue, but I'm actually more worried about the mobility between the Hell Heal, between the Amuse and Cobb hives. Like, sure, you can definitely prevent the healing, but are you going to be preventing the extra movement speed increase, especially when you got To the Skies from Rongyu for engagement purposes, for disengagement purposes? Sanguine are covering a lot of options with their composition. They're definitely geared more towards this mid to late game, so Panitom needs to focus more on that.
He's rushing the attack on his piece.
Rushing the Blackthorns.
Well, so
At
far
least he's
solo
getting blue
lane,
buff, so I guess that's fine.
Very good job of just holding
I think
the lane,
on
and
boots
that
versus
seems to be the
probably
call
better.
here. Up against the King Arthur, you're not
I'm not
necessarily
too sure
gonna find
though.
a kill. But if we can kind of neutralize Maniac a little bit, keep him busy and just dealing with the coups and not rotating, this should pay off for Sanguine, hopefully, in the team fights.
This is a good showing from the substitute out of Sanguine. Replacing Yarkor, never an easy
That's good he's
thing, but
ultimating up in the air when
against
he's in
aggressive
the killer
Maniac,
thing.
You gotta be mindful about all that damage. That's why he's opted for a passive Guardian early, going for...
He got Glad Shield as
not
well,
the
so it's gonna be
Guardian
super hard to
this
gank him
time
for
around.
Nisha. I
Just
doubt
wants
they
to
can
get
get any
some
killer.
sustain, and
What's up, you
probably
got
gonna
What's good, man?
rush
How's your day going?
utility Pythax piece.
Yeah, that
How is your day
piece has
going?
seen come to fruition a little bit more this season. The health and extra sustain for yourself and your teammates is pretty solid. Simplicity, though, on this right-hand side, have a little bit of pressure, as we're going to get a pause out of Sanguine here.
Pause of the
It's also about a
Sanguine.
10% cooldown reduction on this item, so Oxy is going to be able to spam those abilities. The
I
combination
see how it is.
of Pythax Piece and Breastplate of Valor is when Oxy's probably going to start taking over that lane, but then you also
For
have
some
the
reason, I've
clear
just, like,
boots. There might be
literally
until
no
level
energy today.
11 where you'll see any action from the RDO.
Quick pause coming out here, and obviously we're not sure exactly what it is, so just give him a minute. But what we could tell on the map is obviously Oxy getting pressure underneath his tier 1 at half health here. So this could be a blue buff invade from Simplicity coming through, and it'll be just that. Hamilton will fall back.
So it's gonna be more and more scary the further ahead after it's gonna get.
trying to
I'm telling
pressure a
you.
little bit more onto this Artia.
Pretty good. I'm doing pretty good as well, man.
Simplicity talk
Honestly,
about
just
their game
chilling.
plan, and he was definitely focused about being on time, about buffs.
Honestly,
invades,
just
and thus
chilling.
far, Simplicity have done a good job about the speed buff.
Been some
about
interesting
the
games.
blue buff, and 6 minutes in.
First set was
that's a
pretty good to
start,
watch.
you know, giving up 2 deaths
I don't know if
at
I'm
the
excited
end of
to
the
watch
world
the
because
first
the
set,
game
man.
is
I'm gonna be
still
so fucking tired at
very
that point.
even in the gold category.
Rongyu going to be playing the Horus, someone that we've seen a little bit more of as this tournament has gone on to. And Horus is going to be a kind of nice little catch situation here for the boys of Sanguine. I think he can be very aggressive with the fact he can surge to a teamer that's farther forward. Take into account you could have Panitom Sash into a surge from Rongyu to close the gap and set up some more CC. Or he can also play the Peel Factor on the backline if required.
That's the mobility and gap closing.
R2 is already
Just
like
after
500 gold
themselves
behind. That's
at the
not good.
distance, and thus far, they don't want to utilize it offensively quite yet. They're kind of waiting for Simplicity to be a little bit out of position, and it seems that it's the red squad going to make a play.
And they're all around this right-hand side. Harpies right now, ward down.
Oh, blink in from Rongyu. Beast pop.
Get the beads on a Death Panther.
Fails when on the hill. Can you kill him?
And Shinto could
There's
be
a
under a bit
stun.
of pressure. He'll get back to his tier 1, but fails.
They don't have enough damage yet.
Is
that actually stun on hill as well?
And pick up another kill for Sanguine.
A smart play from Fails, diving the backline with his blink, or sorry, with his ultimate, but it couldn't really get the damage off. He
I
doesn't
guess
have
it's fucking
items
impossible to kill
necessary
Hell,
to
man.
Full burst the Hell, especially the anti-healing that we were mentioning.
Come,
as a result of
Kronos got to
another
invade on that
for
one.
Sanguine.
He does have
Tried to
ultimate.
abuse the fact that the red buff was
Oh.
open on this left-hand side and that fight in mid, but now he's had to rewind into a dangerous spot.
That's
Or
beef
is
stun
it
as well.
Netra
Can he get a
under
stun after?
pressure? He has to beads away from the stun. The damage from
Nope.
Streak Up's good. Rongyu comes into the mix though to give some support.
Oh,
and to
Streak
the
is dead, yeah.
skies he goes, and Streak Up's gonna know where he's landing. It's right on his face.
Sanguine is playing
his
pretty
second
well, but
kill, and he's
4 kills and they're still
involvement
equal,
with the
so it's not like
Here comes the cavalry, not able to land.
it's not like it's the
Next stun
worst.
from Death
Did
Panther, ring around the rosy of
MC
that
picked up the
little
stinger,
killer.
so he does have
Very
ultimate
difficult
again.
to find the right hitbox to connect that stun, and
He's
the
no beast,
heals
though.
from Sanguine are starting to show into effect because that was very close to a kill as it could have possibly been.
We'll see how much damage, not damage, how much work
Might not be the first time he picks
Maniac
up,
can
obviously,
pull
he's
off,
only got
pull off
into
like him.
boots, but I can see it
So that's gonna be
coming to
pretty
play a little
important.
bit longer. And when you take into account that Horus also has that surge that gives protections too,
Yep.
there is a ton of protections that Sanguine
He
are gonna
stole
be getting
blue buff again.
consistently in
I
this
think
team
he
fight.
made this
Hard to
annoying this
balance
time.
anti-healing and penetration. Obviously, Divine Ruin having a little bit of both, but Death Panther's playing the Uller, not going to be having that.
I
so
mean,
he's gonna
I
rely
guess
on that Brawler
some of the
speed
lead is
instead,
from
but
King
instead,
Arthur as well, which is
rushing
the
the
solo lane.
Transcendence, thinking about getting that ultimate
But
power
Uller is
switch
2 Van of Hell,
thus
which is
far.
kind of
2 levels
problematic.
behind with that one death.
Like, that's a bit
with
problematic.
Shinto able to maximize his farming potential.
Now the question is, if you're Simplicity here, Anatoly, what do? I mean, you're 4 kills down early on. The goal difference, it's marginal at best between the two at the moment because you've been invading buffs consistently. Do you worry at this point? Are you concerned about, well, we're having issues killing them. We can get them semi-low, but then they heal back up again.
They tried a couple times to find the kills, and I'm scrapping any idea of actually PvPing. I'm thinking about ways to maximize the PvP.
Somebody's in the air.
Now
You can put
Jarl's
up
in the mid lane, and that's on
Dip in the air.
Genetics will use
Genetics
the ultimate from
ultimating.
Terra to help
Everybody's
make sure his
alive.
teammate gets away.
They have a good trade for
As long as he
They have a
can
good
have
trade
the full
for
area.
Sanguine, and also potentially getting a kill. Different way for
I'm not too mad about that play. Sanguine capitalizing on 20 seconds remaining from Death Panther's speeds. Having the health advantage, they were thinking about maybe invading, but red buff not up. And Simplicity need to find ways of invading buffs without these encounters, because in a long drawn-out engagement, Sanguine's just going to out-heal them at the end of the day, and the burst potential isn't quite there from Simplicity yet, unless Maniac has something to say about it.
Blinking from Genetics, he's going to put the walls behind Shinto, who realized that Maniac was there.
Genetics dead.
Wrong you, and I don't think that was a target he was after. Because of that, Shinto gets the kill on Genetics, and now it's Maniac surrounded and crippled.
Oh,
he
he's
can't
dead.
Get away. Shinto will get another kill.
Shinto
Maniac
is
puts
fat
his head in
here.
his hands as Sanguine
That was
gets
not
the
a good fight to
6th kill of
take.
the game now.
That was an odd idea from Maniac, because he only really had Genetics beside him.
Why would I take that
Just too
fight?
far away.
Good slash again from Panitom. Now just get the overhead kick out of Fails.
Honestly,
Well,
Sanguine's team
Sanguine's
comp is
starting
looking
to
pretty scary here.
towards this Gold Fury. It does have a ward down here.
Especially if they're getting a lead.
Try and defend this, you reckon?
They should. Streak Up coming around the corner, and he's going to go onto the blind side, although there was a ward from Sanguine. Panitum sniffing him out.
And Panitom doing the right thing to locate where Streak Streak Up is. Sanguine will get the Gold Fury, and you know what? Streak Up could be in a ton of pressure now too. Can he get the rewind off in time? He won't get an option to. The stinger that came through there from Netrio.
That's Gold Fury and Kronos dead.
And that's 7.
Can he kill Archer here?
Even cheeky old Oxyladion on this right-hand side is going to trip a blue buff. Sure, give him a kill. Go on, be nice.
Ah, terrorist ultimate here.
Because they need something to get back into this game. Maybe go for a Pyromancer if you're Simplicity.
Wasn't that kind of wasted of ultimate on Terra there? Like, surely it was dead regardless, and using ultimate just for one target there is like 1.5 minutes without pressure now from Terra's side.
Identified where the only steal potential threat was walking over the ward. Unfortunately for Streak Up, not aware that that was positioned there. He couldn't even escape anyway, because if he tried to rewind, he would have been stationary for about that 1 second, and he was in lethal range of even a Naja basic to seal the deal.
I agree. I don't think it was worth trying to rewind. It's just that it was available, you know? Sometimes you expected maybe see it here. At this moment in time, though, if you're Simplicity or a EU fanboy, the one thing you're looking for now is a little bit of relaxation, a little bit of calm, and not go too crazy at the moment.
He's getting pestilence plus a cursed ink. I mean,
be patient with their windows now.
It's definitely not over yet. Not over yet.
And the strength from Simplicity is
it's pretty sad to see Uller fall this far behind this early.
Oh, that sash just clipped round the corner onto Death Panther from Panitom. And Netrio takes out Genetics with a crippled stinger
Kill
shot.
Nisha here, that was
A
sick.
little bit far forward, and it looks like a cursed donk early on.
Oh my
It's
god.
not going to be enough to get a kill at all. Shinto is popping off in the mid lane.
Dude, Shinto's doing a lot of work here.
Now 4 members strong. Sanguine
That's actually crazy.
tower.
That's meta done. And they didn't end up getting up in the kill on Nisha here.
Bail him out of that one. Sanguine, they got the Gold Fury about 2 minutes ago, and now rewarded with a tier 1.
Oh my god, that healing.
Go straight over towards this Pyromancer is where they're heading now. Fire Giant might be a little bit, you know, too far forward, but definitely a Pyro here on this right-hand side. And you know there's going to be a bit, I'm a little bit concerned for Simplicity already, just the fact that Maniac made that rotation very early to get over there, get the Ankh popped. It wasn't an upgraded Cursed Ankh, so it won't do more damage to people, but it does reduce healing, and it still wasn't enough to turn anything around there.
That is a big difference between an upgrade or not. Left-hand side, though, Streak Up committing to
Holy moly, does a crit.
The ultimate. Panitum not going to try to chase that one down, as Simplicity are looking for anything. They're trying to just kind of drag any sort of water from this cactus that they can pull, but Sanguine aren't giving anything back.
To watch, I agree, man.
And now Sanguine just gonna have
do think Sanguine is playing quite well. But Hell got so far ahead as well that is making it very easy for them to stick out and be in the game.
You can't discredit Wrong You being involved with 8 of the 9 kills they've found themselves here. All the while, they've just not paid any attention at all towards the
Oh, if you got that speeds, okay.
Considering they are using a substitute for this tournament.
And Sanguine's composition, they've played it very in a creative fashion. This is not the most conventional draft, but they're certainly making it work the way they play together. The way you mentioned Panitum making all these risky plays. It was high risk, but very high reward on top of it, as Simplicity kind of got caught slipping, not really, I think, respecting the turnaround potential from Sanguine, even in the early game.
Streak Up getting pressured by Wrong You here, but the red buff is spawned for Simplicity, and there's an engage going on in the jungle at the same time. Shinto should get some decent damage off in Genetics, and it's so good, in fact, that it will at least get the ultimate out from him too.
That's a very bad feeling if you're Genetics and Simplicity, to be forced to use a one-player Terra ultimate just to disengage, because you know that if you die, Sanguine might even go for a tier 2 tower, so your life is actually worth using that Terra ultimate to make sure Sanguine don't get an extra 1,500 gold.
You can definitely get a sense from Sanguine that they're on the prowl, they're on the hunt, looking for targets at any opportunity. Great wall from Genetics after the fact, though, to shut down Wrong You and Panitom from collapsing on Death Panther there. But they're hunted like a pack of sharks here.
Sanguine are not going to stop the pressure entirely, as they're kind of also using Shinto all the way in the backside. They're using Panitom.
Oh, Panitom is...
tactic. They want him to take all this damage.
He took a ton there, though, as
He's going so greedy down there. And he's alive. Holy shit. What is he doing down there alone? And he still ends up surviving. Holy shit. I mean, the bigger bands are pretty good from Sanguine, but I don't think it's because of pick advance that is necessarily one. Like, Phil's dying that early game was different, like a big thing, and then the fight they took at right mid camps around level 7 because Maniac rotated, they were not worth it. Like, they didn't need to do that.
I'm okay with it because from Panitom's point of view, if you think about it, he had 4 people technically busy trying to maybe find a pick onto him.
I'm not sure.
Ultimates, they're not farming, whereas the rest of his team are in a better position to continue to do so. The gold lead has stretched again then. Just a little bit further towards that 5,000 gold mark. The experience, 6,000 experience, that's a huge at 16 minutes.
That was a good point that you mentioned earlier about buying time. If Panitum had anybody next to him all that time with some healing, with a little bit of extra damage, makes it difficult for Simplicity to fight into it, but now they have to try to defend the second Fury of the game.
Simplicity here is a whole 5-man unit this time round, though, and a couple more relics in tow.
I wonder how they should fight it, like, Simplicity need to all in here. They can't take a poke fight into Hell and Horus.
They're trying to bring Simplicity in and do it on their terms. Oxy on the front side here with that RTO.
They're going for Maniac now, shutting him down. Tiro ultimate down. Penitum is looking pretty low here, so Fail is going on the back down. They can't really kill him. They get a trade-off though, and Striga is surviving. I wonder where Horus is going to land. Oh no.
And now he's going to fall. No rewind for him. The healing starting to really show. Sanguine did lose Panitum, but with a valuable primal
Shinto is the one zoning.
going to help them towards
That's
the
so
late
strong.
game objective control once they do look for the Fire Giant. And Sanguine were never in danger of ever even losing this Fury. They were constantly baiting Simplicity to come closer and closer. No one was low, double heal coming up.
I wonder what they do with this game.
One step too far forward, ran into the
Hell
double
Snowball,
triple
yeah, for
between
sure.
the
Hell
Music
Snowball
Club
is
and
OP.
RDO. He dropped like a fly.
This is playing a lead, that's what Sanguine's doing. They really have gathered themselves a lead and they're actually playing through it. Happy to take the fights to the Fury. Obviously that Fury that went down was a Primal, and it's one of the newer Furies added to the game this year. That Primal Fury will give you a little bit more damage on destroying jungle objectives, specifically and mainly to kill the Fire Giant, which will bring it down, make it a little bit easier to kill, so you're not taking too much damage.
7% faster to be exact. And not only that, with some of the also recent changes, 7% less damage taken from the Fire Giant.
Huge.
Which matters once the 30-minute mark crosses, once that Fire Giant becomes enhanced. So much extra damage you got to avoid. But if I'm Sanguine, not too worried about it with all the sustain anyway.
Well, speaking of Sanguine, they've already started to group up around the
I wonder when they're going to do fight on, like, he has breastplate on Hell now as well. I don't know what they're going to do.
Farming there, and the question would be is where Netroid goes, and I think that's kind of the decision he's trying to make here. Are we doing the Pyro, or do I need to go back to lane? Cole seems to be defend that tier 1 tower on the left-hand side. Sanguine in a very comfortable position at the moment. Are they in a clock at all here, Sanguine? Do you
think they're overconfident?
Is there any rush for them to try and close this game out quick? Because they've set a pretty quick pace so far.
I don't think that
I don't
they
think
are
so.
on a clock. I'm not too worried about Death Banner's damage in the late game. With double cripples, the way Maniac fell, yeah, he can get a little tankier, but you can control him long enough for your heals to become a factor.
Could Kronos become a problem?
Kronos is the only one that could really become an issue because of his passive, giving 2 magical damage for every minute. But outside of that, I'm not super worried because of the sheer cripple control. Not only countering Maniac, but genetics as well. Not having the dash available, now you're stripping away the CC potential from the side of Simplicity.
And the relic situation, you can see that Ankh is online for Maniac. No secondary Ankh here. There is a girdle available for genetics, though, to help burst down the objectives. Interestingly enough, to see Wrong You picking up an Ankh this game. It's not often you generally see it against just the Terror, which is their main form of sustain here. But it does proc off Gladiator Shield as well, I believe. So that will allow a little bit of anti-heal there.
I think it's to burn Maniac. That is the goal. And talking about Fire Giant earlier on, I was not expecting a 19-minute one. And Sanguine feeling very confident.
For Simplicity, have an idea this is going on. They're all in the sort of position around the wings. They're letting Sanguine do most of the work.
Baiting fight at the moment.
Relatively healthy at the moment. The pools have spawned and the jukes around it.
I mean, they're not even taking any damage at all.
I've seen so far this year, Fire Giant getting below 20%. Now Maniac stretches in from one side, but
Genetics building in, get the ultimate on everybody. There's an Ankh pop, but both teams fucked the Ankh. Simplicity totally fight it. Oh my god, dude.
Has got a double kill, and Shinto's dead. That's a major healer out of the fray. Wrong you can't stand
Oh, he's dead.
You're taking damage.
No, Sanguine trolled. Sanguine lost it as well.
Oh no!
Oh my fucking god, dude.
Now the positioning for from Streak Up was a flank
Oh,
around the
no.
backhand side. A great deicide coming out as Fails wraps this up, but it was the
That was
engagement
Sanguine had
from
this win
Genetics.
completely.
No, there's no way they're
Are you
gonna.
sure?
Sanguine had this
I
completely.
have an outside suspicion. they could.
Actually,
I don't think they will go for it.
it's
Totally,
risky. They should
Nah,
save
don't go
They
in, don't
should've
go
gone
in.
for it.
They won't.
Oxy's up, Rongyu's up. In
I mean, I like it, I
4-on-
like it.
4-on-2 situation. No, it's not.
I dig it, I
The
dig
highlight
it.
reel, they should have, but I understand why.
The same idea as to why Sanguine started the Fire Giant is why Simplicity
I
probably
dig
not
it, I
gonna
dig
do
it.
the Titan. It was too early to go for this Fire Giant. The vision control from Simplicity, they saw the health bar of the Fire Giant as it got really, really close, and they knew Sanguine were going to commit at that point. Genetics comes in perfectly with the blink.
They
All
took so long to kill the Fire Giant.
Sanguine members without
Like, I think they should just
Fury.
burst to the Fire instead of trying to bait it for that long. Like, they're not even baiting it. They're actually trying to not kill it, but try to killing it at the same time.
Sanguine the moment Genetics blinks in there, or should they have committed to it? Because they committed and they
Just
lose.
weird,
They
man.
know the gods they're against. I think the commit was the wrong call.
Let me give you the real answer. They shouldn't have even started it.
Sure.
Because at 19 minutes in, they were only up 5,000 gold. The experience lead wasn't quite there. Like, baiting out a Gold Fury is way different than baiting out a Fire Giant because that Ring of Fire makes it discouraging from resetting the aggro. So I think it was a wrong idea to make the call, and at that point they should have disengaged a lot earlier. Look for a pick. The same way they looked for a pick onto Maniac or on the Gold Fury is how they should have committed to a pick earlier.
I mean, I like that Simplicity is winning, so I'm very happy with that.
Full credit to Simplicity.
It just said that
Simplicity.
Simplicity, no, Sanguine had
But that Fire Giant call from them and their choice of defense and how they went about it has really paid dividends for them. Not only did
Sanguine had like a perfect
they
opportunity
good minute
to
and a half here as the next Fury
fucking smack that.
But they got a Phoenix on the right-hand side, which is so detrimental now to Sanguine, who are now on the back foot.
I guess
They
that's
need
how
to
it is.
use that to their strength. They need to split push the left side while there's fire minions on the right. Somebody from Sanguine is going to have to eventually lean on that lane. They don't want to take their Titan chip damage, and there could be more gold added for Simplicity as a result.
They're going to go through now. It's the only Fury.
Simplicity
So they're definitely going to be getting towers now.
Oxy was just watching on there, not much he could do. He is 2 levels down from the solo lane position, Oxy here, on that RTO up against Maniac, but his job in the laning phase has subsided. Simplicity, though, now barreling down the mid lane. They're going to get themselves a tier 1 tower and look for the tier 2. Kronos is with them. Kronos, one of the quickest at killing towers in the game. And they've also got Null if they need it, but Ronyu committed. And Ronyu is
Oh
already
shit, they're
gone.
fighting already.
Oxy
I didn't think they're
can
defending
fall
that.
through, the Thorns were there.
Why are they defending tier 2 tower?
Paniton now on the run, as is Shinto. Shinto could fall after the Aegis.
Damn,
Maniac will get
that's
credit
GG,
for the
dude.
kill. No one's paying attention to the tier 2 tower. Maniac wants blood.
Hindu Man, Simplicity are feeling it right now.
Oh
After
my
that
god, the Fire
Giant
Giant still
after that
into the
deicide,
boom boom
after that
bam.
outside Phoenix, and even after these 3 kills, this
Oh
is
well,
where they're gonna go
oh
for the
well,
end.
oh
And
well.
this is the moment where you sit there and you go, this is why we're patient. This is why you wait for your opportunity. Simplicity had the opportunity of the Fire Giant, and they have grabbed it with both hands. It was moments away potentially from Sanguine winning this whole thing, but it's not gonna be.
Wait.
At least wait now.
What? Wait.
See,
We have to wait.
see, totally.
I mean, I thought it was
You know,
GG.
so I just like stalled that out there. I ain't gonna cast a curse there. I ain't gonna make a mistake. Been too many years, son. You always hold it just in case. Sanguine, though, with a very good defense. I don't think it really matters in fairness, Tolly, because looking at that Titan now,
No way.
a strong gust of wind could knock it over.
Never forget that launch tournament comeback that COG did
There's been a few.
up against Shing's team.
That was a long time ago, yeah.
That was
I
a
know,
long
I know
time
which one
ago.
you're talking about. That was before my time, funny enough. But yeah,
this
here we
is-
go.
I'm still not worried if I'm Simplicity.
Simplicity
That
is
is
winning.
dangerously low. Even though the right side Phoenix is respawning, all 3 Phoenixes need to be up before the Titan starts regaining health. So there's still plenty of time that
It
Simplicity
doesn't
can play
matter.
around that Titan, whether they want to either all in commit to it or just kind of leave that as bait and then focus on the next Fire Giant due to respawn.
I think if we look back at that play at the Titan there overall and what just happened, if Sanguine win this game, it's definitely something to talk about. But
Yes.
at the moment, I don't think it's that big of an issue for Simplicity. Look at the fight that happened to get to that point with
Fucking
the
A,
tier 2
man.
tower in the mid lane.
Yes.
Rongu engaged and disappeared. So did Oxy.
He did engage, and it was too early, and I'll tell you why. Because Sanguine was still rotating back from defending the right side lane. He wasn't even in position to follow up, and all the members from Sanguine were staggered in terms of the engagement. So a little bit of disconnect between Rongu and the rest of his team.
Fire Giant started up by Simplicity, dropped below 20% already. Maniac on Zoji, Rongu's in there, but
Oh, I thought he just stole it.
The Fire Giant going to Simplicity. Has to dash
They had to
away
win the fight here.
Fails,
If not,
jumps on in,
they have to take the
looking for
fight.
support
Keep
play
fighting,
from
keep fighting.
Sanguine. Now Fails under pressure.
If Sanguine doesn't win the fight here, it's GG.
causing problems for the back line of Simplicity.
They're actually
now.
winning.
Shinto
I think they're winning.
gets the kill on Fails. Maniac dashes in, and you
Oh
know
my
what? Sanguine
God,
are back in the game
dude.
again.
Death Banner's even going to drop as well, leaving only 2 Simplicity members. How can this even happen?
Oh
Now
my God, this
Genetics
game
is
is...
thinking about, well, should I even go for the yen here, trying to buy time? I'm going to have to worry about some of those fire minutes.
I don't know. Simplicity is just a backed off. They didn't need to take the fight.
Yeah, look at where
Sanguine
Genetics
literally
is
had to win that fight to win the
thinking
game.
about going for a cheeky little back door if it's open, but I know that Panitom's here for that reason. He's on guard duty. He spots Streak up on this right-hand side. Sure, he'll look at
They came back,
Genetics
though.
and have a little giggle to himself, like, go on, you do it, Terra. Actually, funny enough, the whole of Sanguine ended up recalling, thinking there was going to be a full-on commit from Simplicity. Was that the right call?
Probably, because I don't know if they get the middle Phoenix. They could have certainly gotten the tier 2 middle tower, but is the tier 2 middle tower worth gambling the Titan for? Absolutely not. So I respect the call. You have only 2 members with Fire Giant out of Simplicity that you worry about. You're winning the team fights anyway. As long as you're regaining that Titan health, I don't think Sanguine are worried. You just can't make another silly mistake the same way Sanguine did around that Fire Giant.
Tetu in the mid lane will fall. They're dealing with Fire Minions still as they push on here onto Medic, who's stunned by Rongu and knocked up after. Now Maniac
He made a deck? No.
To the backside,
If they're backing off, Simplicity can lose this. Oh no.
But he doesn't fix
Terror ultimate is down. It's gonna be so hard for them to fight.
on the Phoenix line.
Holy shit, Detroit is popping off. They're going to Genetics, everybody's focused on Genetics. He's gonna be pretty low. I think he's gonna be alive though.
But not quite. All the while, they're sieging this middle lane.
They're gonna be healing up now.
Panther and Streak Up have to sit so far back, and they're having a hard time getting in there just to pressure them away.
Wrong, you're not done. He's going to blink in, look for a knock-up onto He's going to get stunned in response, but
That was
facing
pretty greedy from
second
Banyu.
dash and relying on the heals
All
that
alone.
Banyu.
But I guess he's trying to
These
zone them at the same
heals
time.
is what's allowing Sanguine all the success. Can we look at the healing numbers?
Titan is gonna be spawning up. Fuck.
1,000 there for a hell. 1,200 for RTO and 3.6k for a cheeky little bit of Horus.
And even with all the anti-healing from Simplicity, it's still
Dude,
not
this is
enough,
crazy.
Simply because of the protection.
This game is crazy, literally.
From Rongu, and this is even without a Lotus Crown coming from either of those healers.
So start of the game, what happened? Sanguine go up 8-9 kills, I believe, in a row unanswered by Simplicity. They lurk around the whole map in Simplicity's jungle, looking for kills, looking for fights. They force fights at the Furies time and again. And then a commit of the Fire
I'm
Giant
waiting
is
for
where
pick here.
it all went wrong for them and brought Simplicity back into the game. And now Simplicity are having lunch in the jungle, waiting for somebody to turn up and join the party.
A desperation tactic from
Is it desperation?
It is, because
Really?
this is telling me that Simplicity are not confident in a full 5-on-5 fight, so they want to just pick off 1, maybe 2 members that is on the blue buff. And this is a good idea of how they're positioning, because they're using their own sentry ward and they're hiding inside the blue buff. I'm not sure if Sanguine are aware of the positioning of Simplicity, but they know they're not on the minimap, so they're just going to wait for the Fire Giant to respawn.
Definitely, if I'm Sanguine now, I'm like, I know what's going on. Like, why can't we see any of them on the map? They're the Gold Fury? Like, maybe they're doing gold? For some reason, though, Sanguine know what's up because they're not even clearing that wave there. It's Rongu the first one up. He's going to check the corner. The wards are there.
Why did they back? Why did they even press the B button? That animation of pressing B is so wide from your character. Yeah, they just gave themselves away.
And not only that, look at the middle lane.
Oh my god, dude.
The middle lane Phoenix was taken down by Sanguine. And that's a fire.
They had to back anyways.
Simplicity have to go back to defense.
This game, holy shit.
Sanguine now get an opportunity to pressure the right.
Actually, this game is so fucking troll.
This time, after the failed Fire Giant attempt 10 minutes earlier, Sanguine having some patience, responding very well to the idea of using their fire minion. Sometimes it takes you to be at your lowest low to bounce back up.
There is a true moment of a caster curse coming into play here, because I did not think after Netre got a triple kill at his own Titan that Sanguine could turn this game around.
I thought it was GG as well. I thought Simplicity won.
About to ding 21-10. The gold lead is only 3,000. But the way Sanguine are playing these fights, they're focused in the front line, and the back line just can't get involved.
I guess they don't have enough like CC as well. Sanguine for Xbox? No, they're on PC.
Even when Fails jumps in, he just can't do enough burst damage to counteract all the healing, even through his
like there's not CC on
going in with his pestilence and the cursed Ankh. It's just not enough.
There's not CC on
See one play one. That's what Sanguine's gonna do. They set a trap themselves in the blink from
on genetics really. Not too much CC on Arthur. They actually got a pick on Arthur, no Adios somehow. But they traded out, get a kill on Maniac. I would say this is better for Sanguine. Like the less players that's alive is better for them.
Any sort of commitment. That was a 5-on-4 for Sanguine the whole time, and now with a 1-for-1, still confident enough to push it.
Still no minions here.
I think Ravana still has ultimate on Blink. I cannot see this pretty bit perspective. Holy shit, Shinto with the... Oh shit. Still alive, still alive.
Simplicity managed to hold. The right-hand Phoenix survived.
Is Mid Phoenix gonna die?
The middle one's about to come up too.
That's unlucky they didn't get the Mid Phoenix.
Interestingly square situation.
We definitely are, and the turnaround potential from just those 3 members was still clearly evident. A good rotation this time.
Not the worst, not the worst.
He recognized that a little bit too far forward was Oxy trying to tank that right side Phoenix. I think the better call from Sanguine was to position themselves in the mid to guarantee the respawn middle Phoenix, but instead, they overcommitted. They lose one of their frontliners, forced to disengage. Fails made it difficult to do so.
If you didn't know when you didn't watch the minor league during the first phase, it's always on a Tuesday. Sanguine, they play on the North American SML. Simplicity, they play for the EU SML, and I'll tell you what, it's showing exactly what the minor league teams have. A lot of consistency, but just areas where they get a little bit too aggressive at the wrong time. Speaking of over-aggression, Simplicity, you're doing the Fire Giant. Is this the right call?
I think so, because Panitum just respawned. He's coming.
It's gonna be a 4v5 here. There's no Nisha. I mean, do they have enough secure? It's not like Simplicity have insane secure, but they're still gonna be able to get it. Simplicity got it. I think they back off here instead of taking a fight. It's just doing good for Simplicity now.
Come on, guys. We've got to punish them for taking a Fire Giant from under our noses. But Simplicity just jump away.
It would have been nice to see a fight there, but I understand there's no fight going on.
Now have to manually walk up the middle lane if they want to, or just take the remnants of a Gold Fury on the left-hand side.
A well-calculated thought from Simplicity, recognizing Panitum was just respawning, had at least a 5
I actually expected
kills were a factor earlier, but when you don't have the damage from your Najat, your backline
I expected
easier. They can all play grouped up. And this is the point where now
a fight to another. Not sure why no fight happened there.
That extra damage,
We got Odibao now on Uller. I don't know how long Tommy had it. I didn't pay much attention. There's no Odibao on AMC. He sold his Bloodforge to get mana Discord. I can somewhat understand that, because if they can survive with the amount of sustain they have, it's definitely worth it. Survivability is OP.
That's right, both of them are weak, and I don't expect them to go for the left side right away. What they could do is push it all the way down, but also have somebody split push in the mid to make it a little bit easier and have that 4-1 split. Sanguine are going to be truly tested on the defense now.
And the hard defense, you saw the issues they were running into. It's kind of Rongu that has to initiate with that blink fracture or look towards Panitum to find a sash. Oxy on this RTO, though, doesn't have a blink, so it's going to be very tricky to try and get in and do some setup. It's definitely a weakness to Sanguine's comp. However, their wave clear and their poke potential is definitely strong with the fact they've got a Hell, a Ring Toss, and Bees at any stage and any time they require it.
As good as Rongyu's engage is with the blink fracture, I think the blink Earth and Fury genetics is that much better. If I'm Sanguine, I'm looking about ways to put genetics into combat to prevent that Terra engagement. Maybe have Rongyu be the one to shove him in combat.
It's a good point. Maybe just keep trying to throw that honey out if you naturate towards. And speaking of Simplicity, they rotate down the left-hand side, pressure the wave, and then change their mind. They don't like the situation right now. And you know what? I don't mind this.
Yeah, let's see what they're gonna do for the siege here. I mean, then we have like for the fight, we have Blink on Terra, we have Blink on Ravana. I'm not sure exactly how that's gonna be used. I expect that Arthur is going in first, and then Terra is gonna blink in with engage after. They could also just let the next blink in first and get ultimate on everybody, and then start the fight that way, or scare them away to then get the Phoenix. because Kronos do have insane damage on Phoenix, especially having Fire Giant here. But it depends what they decide to do.
It won't do a whole lot to this Sanguine roster with the sustain they have. The Brawlers, Beat Sticks are online. The Pestilence.
Also look at the wave in right lane, it's getting pretty huge. Streak Up is actually looking to push mid lane here to get a Ravana so they can get the Phoenix. They went in on left side, I'm not sure they should have done that. I don't think there's a call. They are getting the mid lane though. They didn't get it. No way. Oh, they're going in there. They're gonna chase, they're gonna chase. No. They had to win the fight. Fails are gonna take the right Phoenix or mid Phoenix here.
But they spotted Fails.
Oh no, he's gonna blink away. I don't know if he's gonna get away from this.
He has a back here, back here, back here, back here, back here.
Has a lot of mobility that he can help his teammates with. Oxy is gonna cover the option.
No, no, no,
This is
no.
gonna be a wild goose chase. And an
What is Oxy doing?
Is buying so much time because you know Sanguine
Oxy.
has such a great opportunity to use this to push in a 5-on-3. Now, Fails will ultimately die here, and it'll be at least a 5-on-4 on the defense.
The Fire Giant, though, up in a minute's time, remember. Simplicity
Why did
get the
the
last
R2
one.
not go
It's a
for him,
very good
though?
defense from Sanguine, all in all, if you think about the fact that Simplicity split the difference of the two Phoenixes, yet they both still alive.
So the way they opted for that was a 3-1-1, where Streak Up was in the middle between the mid side and the left-hand side, thinking about, okay, where do I kind of go here? With the genetics engagement, it was an all-in commit by Streak Up and Fails. However,
They can't seize with that comp though? Wait. They have Kronos and Uller. And they have a Terra to zone up completely.
He's not super tanky, only with the shifter shield.
And so you can
the
clear.
wingblade for the help.
They could have waited for right side to push up. And then split the Kronos to right side. Like Kronos needs like what? 7 auto-attacks maximum, and then the Phoenix is dead. So surely they could have pushed it. And also they didn't have to go in the left side. Because them going in the left side doesn't mean anything compared to what happens in mid lane. So going in the left side just fucks them up. Even though they want to buy time and all that, they could still have waited like going in. Terra could just look for a stun or something on the front line, they look to poke that. Going in like that is just way too risky.
The way that Nemesis was defeated by Simplicity in that best of 3 set, when they won 2-0, they only gave up 8 total deaths. Already having more deaths in this first game than the whole best of 3 that they had yesterday.
Only a 3,000 gold lead separating them as well. So
I believe so at least.
Pretty much an even keel. 3,000 gold.
Yeah, mid Phoenix should have been dead, but I don't think it changed much anyways.
Mainly it'll just come down to wards. Pyromancer gonna get dropped down by Sanguine. Simplicity not really in the area just yet, but they won't be too worried about a Pyromancer. Arguably, over the course of a game, it can cause problems, but it's more about the Fire Giant, and that's what Sanguine have started up here.
20 minutes ago, they attempted their very first Fire Giant. 20 minutes later, should be a lot cleaner this time around. Simplicity still interested, though, in making it more difficult.
Oxy on zone duty alongside Panitom, who's always looking for the sash.
I see what's happening there. Committing damage to Maniac. I think that's Cursed and Pove on both teams. Shinto is getting smacked there. That's a really good Aegis on my Ravana ultimate. Shinto's alive. They're gonna be super low. I think Shinto's alive here. And they're healing up now. Oh my god. They're gonna heal up. They're just healing up instantly. Oh my god. Can they stop that? That's so unfortunate for Simplicity.
Maniac has his teleport. He needs to be the sole defender.
He's TPing in.
Netroid pulled that Fire Giant there. Wasn't the greatest thing in the world. Maniac teleports straight back into the fray. Sash from Panitom as he and Oxy work on zone duty.
Wait.
Fire Giant is reset again.
Who is going to defend? Simplicity.
They can keep stalling it to somebody to finish mid lane, and after that they need to bait them in. They should bait them in. They don't need to get the fire down. It's 4v5. It's 4v5. There's no angle as well. They need to win the fight.
How
not winning that fight?
And I don't think it's gonna be. with how this is looking right now. Sanguine are back to the Fire Giant again, trying to lure Simplicity in once more.
Genetics is too low to really contest this Fire Giant. Death Panda has returned, but honestly, this is the right call. Simplicity recognized. They're not going to win this the longer this goes.
Yeah,
so
they just give up fight, and after they lost that one fight. Like, there's no way they should take the fight 4v5 if they couldn't win the fight 5v5.
Like you said, Simplicity will fall back to the safety of their 2 remaining Phoenixes. Sanguine, meanwhile, doesn't look like they're going to base after this. They're going to march on down the right-hand side. I will say, Tony, the one thing I've not seen so far this game is Rongu really use the ultimate at all. I think we just saw it like once or twice, sparingly. Obviously, he's not the biggest god for using his ultimate, but in situations like this, it can make it.
We'll see what happens here.
Could all in commit to the middle Phoenix if it were due to respawn soon, but I think that Sanguine are just going to...
Ang is up on both teams again now.
Maybe dive the back line onto Streak Up, but it's a Chronos that has rewind. His positioning, -8 seconds, could put him in a safe spot.
I would rather have seen a defensive relic from R2 instead of Fawns. But Fawns is pretty good on against double AD carries, so...
This could be a good opportunity to use to disguise.
Doesn't matter which team you feel is favorites into this. As a blinking from Rongu happens, the updraft did connect. He kept their pants.
Oh, they're going all in for Fails. There's no Aegis this time to survive. Fails is alive. Bloodforge. That's GD.
4 members dead. There's only Aloxi left alive, and I've got to give full credit there to the boy Fails, who sacrificed his life for the kill.
That's GD. Bloodforge fucking popped off.
Are you sure?
Yes. They can absolutely end. It is a long time, but still. Weakened middle Phoenix. It will be a lost Phoenix for Simplicity.
Let's go Simplicity.
Really there will be no
that was a weird fight. Sheen to not having Aegis just was so risky.
It was a battle of the supports. Even though we saw Rongu blink engage, nobody stopped Genetics from blink engage, and that Earth and Fury way more impactful than what a Fracture can do. A knockup is nice.
If Sanguine doesn't win a game like this, I don't see them. I don't see them win.
Game. It's only game 1, and this time Simplicity will close out the game. They were behind for so much of that game by Sanguine, but at the end, their nerve held, the steel held for Simplicity, and they'll take down game 1. Just about. Even though Simplicity won that game, they are not happy about that win. Sanguine, I'm looking back at that 19-minute Fire Giant and saying to myself, like, okay, we were way too impatient that time around. I think
that was a fucking game, dude.
In game 2, the base and bands need to change. Game 1 in the book, Simplicity.
Holy shit! I wonder what they're gonna do big and band slash, yeah.
I've got a lot to say about that one, Hindu. Good thing they gave me some time to go through and break this all down.
I'm gonna be back fast.
Burner that ends up coming up in Simplicity's favor. There's the Fire Giant throw, the end that doesn't end. Then somehow Sanguine make it back into it, and they can't finish it either. Taco, what stood out for you here in this one?
Definitely a roller coaster of emotions for both fan bases, for sure. And for a while, it was hard to determine how long just this game would end up lasting because it felt like neither side really had the capability to kill the other outright. And that's all that Sanguine or Simplicity are waiting on, was just that full team wipe. And for Simplicity, they were able to find it the moment that they took that engagement on their own right side Firebird. And Simplicity, kudos to them as well. That's a really bold shot call for them to try and take the fight in front of the Phoenix.
It's 2 in a row, right? Because the first thing to do is they give up the Fire Giant, and that's a tough call to make. And then the second call is push out and defend that right side Phoenix, and they had to do it at that timing, and it caught them off guard. But Taco, talk about the Fire Giant steal here for me.
This is where it really all kind of just fell, or I don't want to say fell apart, because Sanguine definitely crawled their way back into this one, but for Sanguine, when they first started pulling this Fire Giant, it was just a little bit odd in my mind. Notice how the FG, that's only at 20% HP right there. That is not a lot of health to be working on. And so for Sanguine to look for this fight, once this objective is already so incredibly low, it just felt a little bit too forced. And that's what opened up the doorway for Fails. Notice him right on that backside. He's kind of just waiting for a prime opportunity to come through with that Mystic Rush. And so as we play this through, you'll notice Fails can tell. And Genetics coming in from behind as well, just popping the full-on Terra ult. That's what prompts a deposit here. And it just prompted Simplicity to want to take the full-on engagement. Well, I mean, we can run it back just a little bit there. It's right before the Fire Giant goes down, where when Genetics pops that Terra's Blessing and all the members from Sanguine are hit, Sanguine know that it's either a commitment to the fight or a commitment to the Fire Giant. Problem is, pause it right here, FG is already still stuck at that same 10%, 20% health threshold that Sanguine left it off with. What Sanguine needed to do from this position, Finch, was just full-on commit to the objective. I think that by the time Genetics is making his introduction into the Fire Giant pit, a lone Terra shouldn't be enough to really outburst the confirmation from Shinto or Netroid. So this just felt like Sanguine getting hit by a kind of bizarre call from Simplicity to look for the fight there, but it was definitely a smart call to make.
Well, it really seemed to me that Sanguine wanted to bait that fight all along and did actually want the objective, because they DPS the Fire Giant so slowly. But eventually, they got too low to make the call to switch to the fight instead, and then the Fire Giant just ends up getting taken from them. So I think a bit of indecision ends up costing them, and I think that does have a ripple effect. If they get that FG and they're pushing from there, we don't even get to the fight where almost Simplicity are in the game, or where they make that
hey, yo, Google Fred. Thank you for the host. Have you been watching the games?
Really might have lost our momentum there.
It definitely felt like too
dude.
much hesitation though from Sanguine. It's never an easy call to make in the heat of the moment, and I get it. When you've got a Terra rushing in on top
what
of
a fucking game, dude. What a fucking game.
Why Sanguine felt as though that was the opportunity to fight. It was clear, like you mentioned, Finch, what they were after all along was getting that initial team
exciting
fight.
one. I mean,
Want that team fight, I
don't know what to think about that game. I'm happy that Simplicity won. Sanguine's kind of deserved to win, but then they fucked up the fight on so badly.
Number 2, a must-win for Sanguine if they want to keep LATAM's hopes alive. On the other side, Simplicity, if they win this, it's just
Let's
like
see
that.
what I
They're
can do.
into the MSI bracket and out of the play-in stage, though they will still go to the finals to battle out up against Armada for seeding. But either way, let's move into the actual picks here. Jormungandr has been banned away. This is consistent. Sanguine banned this away in Game 1 as well. Then the Freya ban. That's different. It was Erlang Shen that was banned last time, so I wonder if Erlang might slip his way through.
Even if Erlang
they're banning Hell this time?
I find it hard to believe that
Hell played incredible well.
Over the Almuz and Cobb. Netroid was top of the player damage charts despite the loss there for Sanguine.
Dude, if whoever wins this game, Simplicity Sanguine is gonna be playing another set right after, right?
Interfere with Fails on that Robin. Fails had a lot of difficulty, I think, trying to figure out when was his time to strike, because there was just so much.
It was a rough game, surely. It's hard to play jungle in games like that, honestly. It's hard to play jungle in games like that.
It's so strong. He has so much damage at this point, and that's what enables this Hell to get to the point where they're feeling comfortable, is that this Amuz and comp damage is able to sort of carry them, and that's why Sanguine are prioritizing it yet again. I 100% understand where they're coming from, but you do wonder, the Erlang Shen now floating out there for them to grab. Do you think that without the Hell, is the Amuz and comp still going to open up as much space for them in the late game? Sanguine have to make some adjustments even with this AMC.
Well, keep in mind it was Neja and Horus that Sanguine opted for as their second and third pick choices, but seeing Erlang Shen could definitely influence Sanguine to maybe want to prioritize Gauss with a little bit more interrupt, a little bit more slow capability, but it's the Chronos that I'm most concerned over. We didn't really talk too much about Streak Up in game
Chronos.
number 1 there, Finch. I think a lot of the attention
He
was
actually got
on
kind
the
of
teams
controlled
in
by the
general,
AMC.
but Streak Up probably
Which I do think
primary
makes
reasons why
sense.
Simplicity was able to make that comeback in the first place.
But Chronos late game is always OP, so even if he loses early game to MC, I don't think it matters too much. As long as I don't lose mid lane.
He provides some nice control, but I do want to put a bit of a spotlight on the Terra pick as well. That's what they're kind of replacing right now with the Erlang Shen. It was the Terra Chronos, and that was a big game-saving character for me too. That blink initiation for him for Genetics on that Phoenix. That's the one that got that last fight started that they won so handily. If Sanguine are smart and take that away here now, I don't know if he'll be able to have as big of an impact on something else.
Certainly in the God pool for Rongyu, that is one thing I'm sure of, but
Poseidon.
seems as though he's falling back.
Pretty early Poseidon.
So maybe control is going to be the focus here
Horus
for
again.
Wow. Maybe try to utilize.
Are they picking Horus because they like it, or are they picking it because they don't want Genetics to have it?
Erlang Shen from having that knock-up capability, as well as the Kraken to kill Chronos.
Time to go Guen, baby. Lock down the Poseidon.
It's not a bad idea. That burst is a pretty good way to shut down the rewind value. hard to go back in time if you're dead. The Horus being valued here again is very surprising. For what it's worth, Sanguine got a lot out of this pick in the early game. Just like you were saying, you don't love Horus if you're behind, but Sanguine never had to worry about it. The healing, the control, it was there in force. So no surprise along you going
Did
back
I
to a
get?
strong pick.
I'm not
No,
sure,
it's a bit
man.
surprising just considering that it's not as valued in the current meta as it clearly is for Sanguine.
This is dangerous now, though, for Sanguine.
They didn't get any good ultimates off.
Fafnir. It's not a guarantee that there's going to be a double hunter composition to follow.
I didn't see too many good
But
ultimates from the
looking at now,
Horus.
Fafnir certainly is a big help to Kronos and Erlongshen alike.
It's
with
enough
that
Fafnir.
attack
Let's
speed
go, dude.
stim off of the coerce, so the Sanguine certainly going to have to
What's
keep
up,
an eye
Racers?
out,
What's
I
good,
think,
man?
for those early to mid-game objectives. Maybe Simplicity looking to just take control of the map pressure early on through objective play.
This might be a good time for King Arthur or some other solo lane bans for Sanguine to think about here too, because that's not been prioritized yet.
So is that a tough change? You think it's gonna be good or worse? I think it's gonna be pretty nice for objective clear.
Take the Chernobog away. They don't want to let them
Wait, who the fuck is that?
Chernobog as the two hunters. Now remember, Freya already banned out. You don't have to worry about that. And the Hachiman, not that.
Wait, who was that?
Second option, maybe Jingwei. If they're too worried about hunters, they can try and grab that.
Kronos could be for
What's up,
Jax?
Jax? What's good, buddy?
Not a bad option to take a look at, but at the same time, there's not too many.
I did
hunter
slept
options that
way too
fare
little
super
today. It's
well
pretty
against
annoying.
this Omni
That's how it is.
Cobb. So Sanguine probably don't want to shy Simplicity entirely away from hunters. I think that Amu's and Cobb and Poseidon are both great at dealing with double hunter combinations. In fact, because if Shinto opts for that Gem of Isolation early rush that we've grown so accustomed to seeing, then that could definitely be problematic for the likes
The last game
of
was
somebody
nuts?
like
Holy
Hunter,
shit.
even the Onher, some of the
It
more
was pretty nuts,
popular
honestly.
mid-lane hunters that we've seen others try to
I
play.
kinda think Sanguine deserved to win that. After Fire Giant shooter, there's more stuff to talk about. I would like to see them win that and then Simplicity take 2 games after.
Do you think there's some flex potential still?
There's still some flex potential.
We'll see.
Erlang's not ideal for solo lane for a lot of solo laners nowadays, but he can definitely still pack a punch and hold the lane down decently well. And when you're dealing, or when you're trying to prioritize an attack speed based composition, like I am getting the message here from Simplicity on, then I think it's fair to want to remove the likes of Chernobog or Robin even, just on the case that you don't want to have to worry about a double warrior frontline running at you.
Hachiman.
Hachiman makes sense.
So there might be
strong hunters that are still available. Though to be honest, I'm a bit surprised Xbalanque fell off as hard as he did. I do think there's still some value there, but Hachiman comes in.
and now
for
Ben
simplicity.
is Jeff
Gives you a
Cycles
good
Ben.
deal of safety. The
Unlucky, dude.
CC ult, probably a big deal.
Unlucky.
Potential control.
Hachiman and Kronos could still be flexed like to either.
Serket, though, now
I guess
being covered, starting to believe that
it depends if they need to have a
here.
safer
We did see
choice in
Romeo on
the dual
horse
lane.
in game one, so
What would be the safest even?
Sanguine
Because
may
Kronos is
try
fairly safe.
to
I mean,
throw
Hachiman is safe as well, so
off their trail, but Simplicity are going to get a chance to see what Sanguine have up
at this point the
here.
diff is still flexing it.
And it's not that I wasn't a fan of the Ardia for Oxy. I think that the Ardia was definitely a good take for him, but I would like to see Oxy possibly on a more aggressive type of solo laner.
And he's still one on menu?
Maniac can't just
Unlucky.
sustain through or just stalemate the lane with. I want to see Oxy get a little aggro here.
I see what you're saying. I'm just too worried about him in that matchup. I think going the kind of safer Guardian that can mitigate him some was probably the best call. The only problem is he doesn't know the solo lane, so it's so much harder for him to know the best pick to take over into that matchup against Maniac as Naja comes through. With Horus already on the table, this very likely feels like it's for Panatom.
What the fuck?
To pick up for Sanguine. So I imagine then they're going to throw this for Oxy over there in the solo lane. Terra can work there, but it can be a little tougher.
It's not awful though when you factor in that Simplicity's current.
What's up, Kid Maxi? Was good.
solo lane option
Is
is
build
gonna be
players,
like
is build teams playing
Erlang
tomorrow?
or
Yes.
here, and
Fred, are you ready to play
Maniac,
tomorrow?
He's probably just looking for something that's either going
It's
to funnel
Nike
into
player.
this attack speed.
I'm gonna be playing
composition
Nike.
that Simplicity have already
I'm gonna be
prioritized.
I'm gonna be making a wall and I'm just gonna be
Yeah,
walking up mid
probably
lane
remember
and I'm gonna be
that
pushing
Amaterasu
all the minions back.
could be the
And then
perfect
it's GG.
puzzle piece to fit in.
Very, very scary if this Amaterasu gets locked in. It absolutely does.
Are you playing tomorrow?
Movement speed makes the composition frightening. The dazzling defensive is great.
You are,
Initiation, it's so
I don't
hard
know,
to
like,
deal.
I don't know.
You need something that
You're
physically
playing
blocks
against
the
whoever
range
wins the
of
seeding
ball,
match
but
tonight.
It's so difficult. this is a great last pick here for Maniac, and it's one that he loves to play and synergize with this comp real well.
Whoever
Just
wins,
hoping that Sanguine hasn't lost all the wind in their sails after that game 1 outcome, because keep in
whoever
mind, they were
loses.
largely
So
in
if
control
Armada
for
wins,
14 to 20
Rabbit is playing
minutes.
them and you're playing
Things really
Simplicity.
only
If
fall
Simplicity
apart
wins,
a little bit
you're playing
after that initial Fire Giant steal from Simplicity. And now
Armada.
in game 2, it looks as though Simplicity, they're looking to make a statement.
Shit,
in
that was
that
not good. gotta,
Also, too, there's gonna be a
gotta
lot
go
of
have fun.
of Shinto here on this beside to get some value out of that
Oh,
rifle. That
Freddy
rifle
boy.
build against this composition could be pretty strong. He's
You're
gonna
playing
make sure
pretty
that
late,
he's in the right
so
place
you
at
don't
the
have to
right
wake up
time.
early.
It all really just depends. I think placement is going to come down. Positioning, I mean, those are two things that are kind of.
I like to see Amy. I love
for
Amy.
Good competitive Smite here, but Horus.
Amy with that much, like, fucking into Poseidon, Amy is pretty good as well.
As clear out in front is what we saw in game 1. Then I
Think
the
seconds
Horus
it?
could
No,
definitely
you're
look to
later
struggle
on.
here up against the likes of Erlang and Meta.
Smite Pro
That's a great
schedule.
point. Wrong you last game had a good start. Can he repeat that here? Sanguine up against Simplicity. Let's go for game 2.
Your first set.
Well,
Rival,
find out if
United
that is the
Spies.
case and if that is something they can do here. Quick pause at the beginning of the game. No real surprise there.
No
Trying to
real
go
surprise
for
in the
this
pause,
late
what the
game
fuck.
idea from the last
You aged
hit.
10 years after that
I love
game.
the Amaterasu selection this time,
Yeah,
switching it up
first
a
game
little
was
bit. Really gonna abuse
a
that
bit of a
selection.
yikes one, wasn't it?
About that a little bit more. They've
I guess it
saved
wasn't
the
yikes. It was actually a really
for
good,
last pick. They're so
a really
smart
good game to watch.
Simplicity. They know Sanguine's got a substitute in the solo lane here in Oxy. So what do? They let them pick their composition and go, what will be the best matchup situation? Amaterasu, maybe not early game pressure, but it's
I mean,
it's gonna
Amy
be
gets
as the game goes on.
super good
It's about the
into
divine,
the Poseidon
presence
again,
for, being able to switch to that
and rotate
mobility,
early,
25% extra
and actually
radius
do something
at
on the
the
rotations
max range,
compared
with a little bit of cooldown
to
reduction, that 9
the
seconds
fucking
goes
alpha
easily
rotations.
down to 7, but it's also more about the
Still hungover
strike
after Denmark, but we
passive
take those.
to get that 10% extra damage, and on a gold fury, on the
I'm actually
fire
still
shot,
hungover.
objective control, with also a
I mean,
Hachiman
that's
heavily
what
managed,
actually
genetics
somebody
back
says
there,
that
coerced.
if you
This
drink
is
for like
how Simplicity
7
gets
days
such an
straight,
advantage.
you will not be hungover like
Simplicity
after 3 days or something.
Especially
But then on the
like I said,
4th
with
day,
Coerce is
you can
very
actually end up being
close.
hungover there.
One of the other characters that Simplicity have drafted.
Like you can literally end up having like
And not only
backfire,
is it
I guess you can say.
Coerce, but if you go into dragon form, well, the whole team can get it.
And you have been up all night.
Damage is gonna be real.
Why you been up all night this round?
Can't even forget about Streak upcoming.
Wait, did I yawn? I don't remember if you yawned.
Pressure from Sanguine in the dual lane. I'm
Here we go
surprised,
again.
surprised that they rotated.
We can
there,
backfire on 4th
considering
day.
that Troy on the losing cop has all day.
No way! Did it again!
That's
Panic Tom must be
disgusting.
right
Oh, he stole it again?
First blood in
No
mid is
way.
what is about to happen after picking up the red buff. This is just a rinse repeat.
No
but
fucking way.
Replace Ul and Hell in the mid lane with Hachiman versus Poseidon instead.
And then also replace the Rob.
Hey, Deadlock, thank you for the host.
Long shed, right?
True,
But this
true.
time around, I doubt
Why
if
Gaia is
they
placing a turn
rotate
solo lane?
really
Because
well.
she doesn't
Last time was
you don't
the
lose gold
rotation
if
after this
surely if they die to tower then you lose gold. But overall you're gonna end up having more gold if you don't last it, and you have the passive and Gaia blessing and get more gold that way. And you don't really get anything from starting other start items.
Because you can't really have Shinto stick around there to try and help him out because he's got to get to that mid lane.
If that makes sense.
And even stealing away these back cams, genetics.
If you don't watch them live,
also
you
using
just skip the result and you hear that. Yeah, that's true, that's true. That's what I do
I
as
don't
well.
know what it is about UK support players, but they all seem to have this invade abuse early game strategy.
So
Ryan
it's
does
the
it,
best item for
Suntuck
laning.
used to do it back in the day as
Okay.
well. Like they're always UK players who do that, and I don't know why it is. We just like being scum. I think that's all it is.
I was wondering
Vulcan
who else
backfire on the
besides
4th day.
genetics and Rapper you were
Well,
about to mention.
Suntouch was always like back as
Oh shit, Saspa.
cooldown, right? Just walk on it.
To be
Okay.
fair, when Suntouch used to play, everyone did anything Hog invade
Well, yeah,
back then.
it was there and it was.
Where are you? I'm up here.
Hey,
I'm here.
Don't take his steals away, okay?
Alright, we'll
Oh, I thought you mean in I'm in Denmark right now.
Last time Simplicity did that, they didn't win the game as well.
By 11 PM?
So,
Because I'm in Denmark right now.
that could mean they win the game here. Blink from
At
Rocky
my
wants
dad's
the
house.
streak up. That'll get the beads, but
What a
very
good stun.
good stun.
What a good stun there.
Streak Up will at least get some damage in return there. And Streak Up well aware of it this time. Last time he got caught semi out of the loop on the gank, but he's well aware that Ronyu wants to keep doing that. Genetics, meanwhile, he wants his jungle again.
I think they're sniffing it out though. Shinto is
Haven't
right
they?
around here. Is he actually going to be able to steal it? They have the timer for it.
Stole that.
Ah, he stole the big one. But now
Yeah.
he doesn't have the cooldown
Who needs
to
it?
steal the speed. If he steals it with the... Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing with Nisha. She can kind of one-shot the
Still
buff.
level 2 though, so Genetics doing this is trying to delay some of Sanguine's
She can kinda one-shot it.
gain, but he is putting himself at a disadvantage by doing so. Underhanded tactics.
Nice
Connect.
beats.
The hammer did, however, and that will get the beads out of Shinto as the banner did drop down onto him. I don't think he needed to beads there, do you think? But it's better safe than sorry, right?
Way better safe than sorry, because now if he doesn't beat, you're eating at least 2 basic attacks, and as Death Panner is hitting you, he's moving forward, and he's positioning himself to maybe land that double stun.
That's fair, that's fair. We'll see what happens then. Purple buff on the left-hand side, invaded by Sanguine there, as once again, Simplicity to get the second blue buff on this right-hand side.
Good.
That's definitely going to cause some problems for Oxy on this Terror this game. Blue is something that he definitely wants for the extra cooldown and mana regen.
No beats on the Shinto, he's dead.
The hammer will miss. It was a good
Then
shoot,
myth
and he's
both.
sitting in the Whirlpool as long as he can. Fails, didn't find the knock-up he was after from the turtle form. And Shinto will slip the net for now.
They needed at least 1 CC to land on Shinto to give Death
That should never happen.
room and freedom to land some of those basics.
It's fair enough to miss one of the spells, but they cannot miss all the spells.
Cleanly with this back camp invade.
And Genetics is really like sitting on this right-hand side between these back harpies, the blue and the speed.
It's not the worst, like, but they had a free kill there because Poseidon was no beats. But missing those abilities really hurt to see.
Great performance from
It's better if they miss the abilities and Poseidon, for example, use a pre-beats and then they miss it and then the beats doesn't do anything, right? And then they get a beats. But this time, like, there was literally a free kill. New items are pretty cool. Hopefully they're gonna switch up the meta a bit.
That gets ahead this early on to finish off his Gem of Isolation, his potentially Spear of Magas, is going to allow that mid-game control that he needs.
To start this one is definitely a little bit less out there, as Sanguine haven't got a huge lead in terms of kills so far in this. Instead, it's Simplicity that have consistently stripped away a couple of buffs in the jungle that have put the pressure on. And Genetics just warming up that hammer throw.
Does he max heal or what? That's a big heal, I feel like.
Cause some problems for this Sanguine roster.
Uh-oh, now it's wrong. You making the blink engage onto Genetics, but the Kraken just slightly late.
Now what that was there was wrong. You went for the shred after the fracture. He blink and shreds, and then you get an additional attack that you can shred protections. By doing that, it was a small window where he didn't go for the updraft for the knock-up to set up that Whirlpool. And Shinto was just a little bit too late to the party.
That knock-up should have hit.
Third consecutive back camp invade. I think Simplicity are really focused.
I'm not sure how it works with Uller.
I think that it was actually
I'm not sure how it works with Uller.
mentioned that they need to play around the right side of the map, knowing that they were the ones with the substitute in that solo lane. And so far, Oxy hasn't completely fed in the laning phase.
His job is to hold, right?
Yes, which is why he played the RDO in the first game, trying to win that.
Standard, yeah, but I'm not sure.
This time around,
there's a cooldown on it, right?
But
I'm not sure exactly how they're gonna do.
Was quite yet when he selected that
like, if it switch stance, use ability, then you get the proc. I think so.
What Genetics was able to do with it, and knowing that he was already the Fafnir, it wasn't ideal.
I don't know if I'm gonna watch the last set.
But it was more to like, all right, let us.
I don't know if I'm gonna watch the last set.
I do think Wrong You, what he said though during the interview was, he said they were going to try and defend the right lane and focus the right lane, but I think he may have been saying that to make people think he was going to do that, because he didn't pay any attention in game one. Beats down on Shinto in mid, fails, gets the ultimate.
Because that's just a seeding match anyway.
Survived just about. He had to use the Windfire wheels.
That's just like I don't really care too much about the seeding match.
2 sets of beads consumed by Sanguine.
Like, I don't think any of them care if they lose or win.
Back on the right hand side, stealing Harpies, but Panther just got caught a little bit too far forward.
Did he try to get a kill or what?
Shinto will survive after the pin from Fails, as Genetics was already on an adventure. Sanguine punish the over-aggressive Simplicity.
But they're not done yet. Genetics jumping on in. Keep in mind, Shinto now still with a lot of damage, finishing off that Mage's Blessing evolution. And this is an idea that Simplicity are using, is by constantly putting pressure on the back camps 4 consecutive times in a row, but now ultimately paying the price because they're just
now ultimately playing in the price.
6, whereas look at Genetics, he only just dinged level 5, and I think some of the fighting we saw in mid lane there, if Genetics was level 5 already, I think they probably would have come out ahead in terms of a couple of kills. So that, you know, loss of experience for Panatom has paid off in a weird way against them because of the fact that Simplicity weren't the same level.
Even with Genetics only being level 4 at the time, I still think it was a right idea, because at the time, Shinto didn't have his ultimate during that engagement, but Death Panner was just too far forward for too long. Once that cooldown was back up, he was a sitting duck, didn't respect that cooldown timer eventually.
Hunters in the dual lane, no one really paid too much attention outside of the very starting gank we saw from Wrong You in the first couple of minutes. And that's actually given Streak Up just a small hair of a lead in this lane in terms of experience. Hasn't been back to base a moment or two. He's got his boots online, but working towards that Pythags piece that we've seen so much.
What are we looking for here?
It's all about like
They're just farming. They know that Phils is down there. They might be looking for him. Phils do a beast though, so it's gonna be hard to lock him down.
He's calling Netro. It's like, hey, you're good, all right? You didn't burn the house down. All right, cool. I can leave again, you know?
It's a fake because really, when he turns up and goes, hey, you're good, he's really just taxing your lane. That's all he's there for more than anything else. The phone call actually costs money is kind of what it's all about there. Netroid goes back to the left-hand side now. Hives
I
down. Oracles are
think
spawning.
this is gonna be a Simplicity win.
The scene as is Genetics. Fails rotating in.
Terra solo is pretty strong though.
Two skirmish here. As the mid laners are both poised and in position to join if required as well. Just keeping an eye on those. Ring toss definitely causes problems.
They got one each.
One trade, but Panitam's not done just yet.
That's beats down on Fails.
And with wrong
Then they can play around next time. They're beats down on Erlang now. And they just need to get a niche ultimate into Kraken on him. And then he's dead. I think Chira just TP'd and is already fucking low.
Alright, where is Shinto? Because I'm more worried about the Kraken when I land than anything else. And Panitum didn't have Shinto there. There was no realistic continuation from that point on. Simplicity feeling very confident, granting themselves at least one of those oracles.
Right hand side looks like the oracles. Sorry, the right hand
Doing
side.
Sketcher.
Went to Sanguine there. No real stoppage from Simplicity. They had to play a bit further back as they didn't have fails. And Sanguine with 3 members strong around that.
Amy has gone into Blackthorn. Its damage, its health, its cooldown reduction, and its mana regen. You can't really ask for more when you play Amy. It is a pretty good item. I do think that usually I would probably opt in to be a tanky Amy, but maybe it feels like you can bully out Terra, especially since Terra is going full squishy as well. And if they're not really gonna be ganking Amy, he doesn't really need to be tanky, right? So.
Winning that category, which is what allows Simplicity to keep the gold relatively even, despite giving.
Wait, you need a screenshot of your schedule or what?
Stripping away multiple back camps this game as well. Simplicity, despite giving a first,
I can send it to you.
Have about a comfortable lead.
Definitely, and like we said, you know, Oxy's holding this lane on the solo side, not getting any help whatsoever. They're happy, well, to an extent, Sanguine, and just accepting the loss of the blue buff on the right side.
How do you not know when you're playing?
But it is giving them
When you're playing tomorrow?
Who are looking at Pyromancer here.
It's the long hour, yeah.
Transforms, looking to burst this down quickly, and with a coercive, it's even required. They'll burst it down.
That's the disgusting thing about Simplicity setup. Fafnir synergizes insanely well with the Erlang and Hachiman, also Kronos it is, but... And then Amy has a power buff that's included with the attack speed buff, plus Hachiman attack speed. Makes them all fucking smacking baggy.
Even though we saw exactly 4 members there with the Fafnir ultimate, you just gotta play it.
It's schmacky baggy, man.
Now then, the question is when does Simplicity look for an opportunity for the Gold Fury? Because they seem to be the aggressors. I don't expect it to happen soon, though. They'll play around Genetics' ultimate is what I'm expecting here. That Dragon form definitely helps out with that. Fails, though, is on this left-hand side here, trying to wrap around, potentially, Netroid, who's in this lane farming. But as he steps on the border
I think I'm stopping the stream after this set is over. I don't think... I don't want to watch the... Oh, what? The knockup didn't hit? How did he get out of the knockup?
Fails could have been a bit more hurt, but talking about hurt, it's Netroid under pressure from a streak up.
Wrong, you're going in with the knockup as well.
Can he kill Streak?
No.
How did he not get Streak up in that knockup? No way, dude. I feel like that's no way.
But is that enough to get the objective? I'm just not sure.
You know, Tony, I actually like that play.
This game might be closer than I thought.
He saw the action happening in the jungle, so he knew no one was paying attention. The problem is that, well, Streak Up just bit off more than he could shoot. Netroid bought enough time for his team to turn up.
He had both relics available still when he...
I think it's because he dashed in and then he's using the thing after a while. No, wait.
Never really is a 1v1, especially with...
I'm pretty sure he can knock him up before he can schmaggy.
Feeling himself a little bit too much after that first game.
Now with that, Sanguine just get themselves an extra kill. It's not going to amount to too much. They did.
Aren't you confirmed? If you stun and then knock up, aren't you confirm that as
so it won't be an opportunity for further progress on that side.
as Horus? I feel like it should be at least.
With his second blue buff, His first one, he's definitely safe on the backside if he needs it, but he likes to one further forward, mainly on Oxy's side of the map.
And he's about to get his 8th totem of Q. Sanguine are just not able to get any of them. That's because of the
Amy gotten 7 totems as well. That's fetish troll.
the players.
And it's some Sash in mid lane into a win.
No, don't go for him. Don't go for him.
Gets the beads off though to make sure he got the ult in place, but I don't think that was necessarily that worthwhile. Genetics for a mid laner, maybe they could turn it here though. That was a huge ton of damage.
Oh, that's insane. That's the same mistakes I've done when I play mid lane. It's like I see my Nisha pop somebody up in the air, but sometimes you just gotta realize you actually can't do shit here.
A little bit more worth as Sanguine now looking for more action in mid.
When he coming back, I'm not sure yet. Like 3 weeks or something.
Barrel towards this left-hand side of the map. Not sure if they're looking for a pick on Death Panther, which is might be the call actually, or the Gold Fury attempt, knowing they've got a man advantage.
Without Kraken, it becomes a little discouraging, I think, for Sanguine to try to go for it, but not disencouraging to go for more picks.
Got the beads out of Death Panther there.
They got the beads. I think if they saved the MC ultimate, they would have been in a really good position there.
Around the Gold Fury pit, but Maniac is here alongside 3 other members of Simplicity. Sanguine will fall back. All the while, though, Panitum did at least manage to get aggressive in the enemy jungle and get a bit of farm for himself. Simplicity is half of the map.
You gonna be A-okay after dashing away safely there. As Sanguine not wanting to flirt with danger on that Gold Fury, knowing that Panitum was on the right side of the map looking for all these invades, abusing Maniac's absence.
Totally look, Genetics just transformed into a dragon and jumped straight on Wrong You, was trying to get those mid-harpies. Fails will get credit for the kill, and still, all the members of Simplicity Group are going to pull the Gold Fury.
They should be able to get it, but Kraken is available. Shinto is going to go from the top-hand side if he wants to try to contest it, but meanwhile, it was just too quick. Simplicity do secure it, but Sanguine
my ears plugged out.
At least a pick.
And Fail's going to use the ultimate on Netriod, who uses Aegis nicely timed there. Maniac, though, going to get aggressive against Shinto and get another Aegis for his pleasure and pressure there on that left-hand side. Gold Fury the way of Simplicity, but a tier 1 tower for Sanguine in the right-hand side, thanks to the work out of Panitom.
Yes, he was.
Wait, they got a tower.
Because he wanted to abuse Maniac's absence.
What the fuck? We got Traveler shoes on Terra.
The blue buff, and then once he realized, oh, just lost Wrong You to a 5-man rotation.
I would say get pin boots when you're updating into the Betagam's piece.
Of getting the 500 gold instead.
Still doesn't worry.
Shinda's going into what? Shaman's ring maybe?
Just because he's playing the Amateur Rasu here, and Amma has the ability to be so mobile and escape danger under pressure, so it's not a problem for him to be this pushed up towards the tier 1 tower on the right.
Especially when you're level 15 with a 2-level advantage.
Pardon your smart, trying to think about that.
You're able to
Wait, who actually got the goal for you?
Every 6 seconds at this point with that cooldown reduction. And that 25% mobility is going to be felt. So once Simplicity are seeing whoever is out of position, even if they don't kill them right off the bat, they're going to run you down.
Keep an eye on the builds now.
So this got to go.
16-minute mark here, because either Bloodforge was first item from Death Panther here. Makes a lot of sense.
Nice emotes. Unlucky, isn't it?
Devour's Gauntlet stacking up is it effectively in the mid lane. So maybe
I'm actually I'll subscribe to 9 people or something. I just canceled some yesterday because I've not been watching streams that much anyways.
Gets the Aegis out of Death Panther as the red buff was invaded. Shinto uses bees to keep the slows at bay. Oxy does.
That's a pretty good blink from Oxy. Who's in there? Who's in there? Run Grill using ultimate. Oh, he could have gotten further up, man. Maniac can die. Could have died. Push tier 2, or go fire down. Either it's big fire. It's big fire. Maybe they can do that if Maniac has TP. Maniac has TP. He never streams? Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I don't want to subscribe to somebody, only if it's like my friends, and probably not for a long time. I want to support, surely I want to support my friends and people who's grinding and all that and also streaming, but if it's like 5 streams a month, it's like, I don't know, worth, I think that is, if you can say like that. What's the Vecina?
It really is. It's hard to say like who has the better late game because it's going to come down to objective control still. Whoever can secure the Fire Giants safely. But I think the repositioning is going to allow Simplicity a slight edge from Mania.
Sanguine is actually ahead here. But that's what I said with Amy, by the way. She is super squishy right now.
Since he was level 12 first, he was the one that opted for a Frenzy.
That's why I'm keeping an eye on Paddington this game. You mentioned the mobility, the simplicity you're going to have in the later stages.
Are we getting a sprint on Fafnir? I don't know what. A sprint. He's rushing Jimmer Weiser as well. That's crazy. That's actually crazy.
Sanguine grouped up quite heavily towards this middle area. There's no tier 1 tower standing for them, but they're hunting for a red buff, or maybe even a pick on Streak Up, who's not noticed. He did walk around the corner in time though and get his
I mean, they can get him maybe.
And look to turn it around again.
Still has the beats in Aegis.
You dueling me? You wanna lose your points? Oh, rough 10k, I'm gonna join that. Don't join the raffle, this is my points.
Genetic's gonna blink away from the danger he was worried about there. Panitom more interested in the red buff, however.
Genetics need to get Thief Strikes going.
Reset once more. And meanwhile, the right-hand side, I'm just keeping an eye on what Shinto was up to. It looks like he's gonna try and get some farm up there, but there's nothing really available. Everyone's still dancing on the left-hand side.
Keep in mind, Netroid's
Oh, moonwalk, minions, moonwalk.
Did land that time stop, and that's why Simplicity are trying to corner him like an animal in a cage. Streak Up able to push out that wave. He's going to try to defend this next one, but Fury not going to respawn.
Panitom with the blink into the sash, gets the beads out of Streak Up. Panitom waits on the windfire wheel.
Streak Up is no ultimate.
Can't find the mark. Genetics can't find it either with the hammer, and neither can Oxy with the walls. It's all about the jukes in game 2 in this one.
That's what it's all about, honestly, being able to confuse your opponents. It's not easy to land those abilities between the Naja Sash, between Genetics, Hammerstone, but either way, a clean disengage from both members, walking away, only having to use the bead to Streak Up.
Is that a gem of isolation coming out from Genetics here? It is. I just finished it off as well.
It synergizes a little bit with the coerce. You use the coerce on your members, and you're going to actually apply that.
Use the coerce.
Sure, but that's
What's up, regain? Are you working tomorrow? Gold Reader spawned.
I guess it's the whole team getting it.
Still good.
I mean,
I'm not sure how much I like the Oxydelium build.
But I guess that's what it's supposed to do.
You're getting a little bit of health, so you're still
You mean yes?
it being a little more tanky.
Primal Fury has been pulled by Sanguine here, and it keeps getting reset. We saw this in game 1 from Sanguine. It was definitely a tale of they
Is Shinto looking for
when they did this.
a flank or what? I'm pretty sure Kronos has Aegis ready. There's no way he can flank it on Kronos. Just kill Maniac, dude. He's still pretty squishy. Not too squishy at the moment.
As the Furies reset again and pulled once more by Sanguine.
But what's the idea here for Sanguine? It's like, where are they actually going to commit to? Because they're not going to full-on commit. Even though
fucking ultimate the Fury, man. Ultimate it. You should too, Shindo. You should too. Ultimate it. Just fucking ultimate it. Just ultimate and get out.
Still trying to force an ultimate out of Simplicity or a relic or anything.
Literally ultimate and get out. Ultimate it and Horus doesn't make it out. I don't understand this. What are they doing? Charge Horus ultimate and bait them in.
But get it very low, jump in towards the tail end, and all hell breaks loose. Maniacs trying to hit as many people with that.
This is a troll.
But Netroid and Shinto have already taken 2 lives down. Now they're on the run to escape, and you know
holy
what?
shit.
Jolly Sanguine did it. They get the Fury and 2 kills.
Very easy as well. They didn't even need to invest a Kraken to confirm the objective. They used it for the engage after the fact. Simplicity.
Surely they could have used Horus ultimate for that fight.
They knew where Shinto was.
Right? Either get out or get down on the spot and get the shield.
The question mark that Sanguine was proposing, they needed to commit there. Shinto
well, I'm
was
thinking
a
of
little
this.
bit too far forward from the action.
That really was something me and Tom have spoken about before. After me, have always discussed the fact of pulling the fire alarm to see how quickly the police respond, the first responders get there, right?
Okay.
So Sanguine just kept pulling the Gold Fury over and again, Primal Fury, I should say, and they wanted to check how long it took.
War is it better than most assassins?
Simplicity took the time.
In something, I was sure.
Sanguine went, okay, you're really not going to commit. Well, it's low enough for us to burst. And that's what happened.
There's something else, sure, I agree.
I guess I didn't mean to say me and F. were juveniles at high school. That wouldn't be us. Not a chance.
Clearly not.
We're professional commentators of the Smite Esports League. Pyromancer pulled by Sanguine here. And Maniac is here and around with presence. Genetics going to join in too. Pyro taking its sweet time to go down. Obviously, they don't have Netroid with that AMC nearby or Panitom there, so they didn't want to commit too heavily with just 3 of them. So
there's Jimmer Isolation on Fafnir now. Let's see how strong that's going to be.
The next time Sanguine pulled these objectives, Maniac just needs to all-in commit. He has the Oni's Hunter's Guard. You want to be closer to them.
Who does 350 per auto attack?
Damage reduction, but still caught sleeping is Simplicity.
Wait, was that AMC who did 350 per auto attack?
But I mean, Sanguine have taken 2 objectives. Unfortunately, you haven't panicked too much just yet. If you look at what happened in game 1, Simplicity were very patient there around that first Fire Giant, and it paid off for them. As long as they don't lose a Fire Giant the same way, it should be okay.
But I'm expecting Sanguine to hold off from any Fire Giants until it's guaranteed after losing that first one.
What active is F.A.Q gonna get?
To just use
Sprint?
his escape in the mid lane, was forced to ult after the Sash connect from Panitom 2. That's a huge win for Sanguine at this moment in time.
They go Maniac here. He couldn't come up in time. Did he push mid after now? It's only Rangu blink down.
In the grand scheme of things for either side.
Well, that dazzling offensive is a much shorter cooldown than the blink from Rangu with 30% cooldown reduction. I think that it might be good enough though to get this tier 2 tower. Simplicity need to hold on.
Oh no! They cracking on the ultimate. They're still winning the fight, it looks. They got some good ultimates off. Only Streaker was ultimate up. Oh my god. Even after they did such a bad fight. Is it going for Sanguine's way? They still have Aegis on both carries, so I don't like that. Look at that.
Versus a lot of AoE damage. Even though Shinto's cracking,
Sanguine is playing good. I expected Simplicity to actually do way better than what they're doing. Not really saying they're playing bad, but Sanguine is
I'm almost a bit surprised.
Sanguine is OP.
Sanguine, both ultimates, the Windfire Wheels and the Kraken, were aimed at the frontline tanking Maniac. Is Maniac the big person to focus on?
What's up, Kuro?
No, absolutely not, because even if you
What's up, Kuro?
he's still gonna be tanky with that Oni's Hunter's Guard, but he has healing from that aura once he switches, and it's a very short cooldown.
Oxy under pressure, the super sub under pressure, and a hell of a lot at that.
He's alive.
Ripped half his health bar away.
He was alive.
Maniac around the back might be able to find the kill. Wrong, you gonna use the ultimate to try and make something.
Fails is low. Oh my god, the damage. Oh, he misses too. He's hitting it. There's a big fight going on. Penitom is on him. He's not gonna be able to hit anything. Rangu is dead. Is Penitom gonna get able to kill Deathbender? He's killing Deathbender. Streaker ultimating. That's a Aegis. Perfect Aegis. Streaker is dead. Good mid Phoenix. How the fuck did that fight turn into be like that?
Sanguine with a huge advantage now. This made the Phoenix destined to go
Fuck
down.
fucking
Don't
champ.
expect them to go for the end here.
Are you sure?
I am 99.5%.
No way
sure
they
they're
end.
not gonna go for the end here, but you know what? Crazier things have happened.
Sash on Genetics.
Oh, he's dead.
Wind, fire, wheels, whirlpool on the ground, not even needed.
Wait, maybe now they go for the end.
Is that it? Is that going to be a game?
Is that GD?
5 minutes in, Sanguine, don't do a Simplicity here. Don't throw this away. They've got the minions as Fails.
That's Aegis.
Gets the arm off. 3-man knock-up. Triple kill potentially for Fails on the cards, but he can't find it in time. Panitom will get the nice bit of crit to the rescue.
All right, at least defending the Titan, making it a
I would rather seen a brawlers on
Shinto trying to pull a sneaky play, getting the Aegis out of Deathbender. I like that idea.
I would rather seen a brawlers on Fails in a game like this.
So Panther and him may be able to give chase. Still, Shinto has to keep backpedaling as fast as his little trident legs can take him. He's still got support there.
But again, that's just what I think.
As a consolation prize.
If anyone can outrun Maniac, it's got to be Shinto. With the Shaman's Ring on the Poseidon, you should be fine.
Wrong, you try
Oh!
He put himself in an awkward spot, but he knew he had Panitom nearby. Ring toss out just to give him some mobility.
Only Fury is really good for Simplicity here. They can get pressure for the Fire Giant. Mid Phoenix is down. Let's see if they decide to push left here. I think they have to send somebody to push left.
Yes, this allows Simplicity now more breathing room potentially to defend the middle Phoenix. Sanguine are going to have to defend their side lanes for this one Oni Fury wave, but Fire Giant is up. Sanguine, they didn't opt for the Fire Giant earlier after that important 4 kills. They instead got the guaranteed Phoenix, and because of the kill onto Genetics, they were a little bit encouraged. It's like, hey, we can maybe end here, but a great defense from Fails, being able to blink and ultimate win out in a one-on-one.
Panitom blinks, Panitom misses his ultimate. Panitom now taking a trade with Fails, who ults him back.
Fails dead.
Fails gonna get Eater, Kraken, or should I say Rubber Ducky. Maniac gonna ult onto 2 frontline targets.
Can the Terra survive this? Let's fence it down. Terra's dead. Are they gonna be fighting here?
Genetics leaps on in, stuns wrong you, who's still under pressure.
MSI is not around, he's pushing left, right? Honestly, Shinto could maybe carry the fight. Does he have heal soon?
Simplicity though still marching on.
Shino might be able to carry this.
On the backside, he gets one onto Genetics.
Oh my god, dude.
Maniac is gonna suffer the same exact.
Where's he gonna land? Oh, Horror's ultimate as well.
He could be the third victim.
Oh, Shriek have killed him. Is that GG? Nah, it's not.
The last man alive on Simplicity for the next 11 seconds. Fails will be back up and Fails does have his blink available, but his ult is definitely on cooldown.
To the end here.
They were going for the FG. They're going for the Panther. It's all on Fails now. Fire minion wave coming in. Luckily, a minion wave spawned at the same time. Bushito's having none of it.
Fails is dead.
We're gonna make the mistake again. We're gonna try and close out the game. Or are they? Or are they? Panther takes down Panitum. Panther takes down Netrioid.
Dude, these games are too wild. These games are fucking too wild.
What was Panitum doing there? He was going for the kill instead of actually going for the Titan. This is not how you close out games, Hindu Man. Sanguine are letting their lead play into their own mentality in a very negative manner.
I really feel that play from Sanguine was a split call. Shinto and Titan, the other two are not. They're clearing minions and they're walking down the lane. They all have to commit or they all have to disengage. You can't do both.
No, you definitely can. Also, good credit to Fails. He finds the route onto Shinto, not allowing him to engage inside the Titan room.
This is a bad position they're in now.
The delayed back, actually, from Death Banner probably helped them out just a smidge because if Sanguine saw both of them right away, maybe they don't go for that. But because they only saw Fails at the time, that's why they went in.
Well, that's what Simplicity needed. They needed to hold on, and now the middle Phoenix
Nerve-wracking. Isn't it nerve-wracking?
will allow the Titan to do a bit of regeneration.
Nerve-wracking.
At this stage.
Translate.
Simplicity, though, with all 5 members now back alive once more, they're on a Pyromancer.
How do you spell it?
Try to do their best to dissuade them from
Nerve-wracking.
but it will come for naught for the time being.
I can't spell or what?
It's all about the fire
Fuck that, I'm deleting the tweet then.
Guess what?
Nerve-wracking. Isn't it wracking or what? Nerve-wracking. I guess it's just like this. I guess it's spelled with an A instead of A. E instead of A. It's just the E, man, dude. Come on. Reckon. Isn't that the word? I deleted the tweet now. Because you're bullying me.
They fall back into the jungle towards the fire giant. Simplicity, though, are pushing down the mid lane. Streak Up is on an adventure to get as many towers as possible.
It's because I want to Simplicity to win, right? And it's like they're so close.
Or are you? Just about they will. That's a Kraken that
There's enhanced fire down though. And the Maniac dead.
right now. Maniac needs some help. Maniac needs
Push right, fuck left, push right, fuck left.
He will now be dead for the next minute of time. Simplicity, meanwhile, have Fails and Streak Up. Getting a tier 2 on the left-hand side. That's some gold. That's opening a window. But they've got to come back to defend soon.
Ay.
To probably defend the Phoenix in time, but they need to be present in case.
Why did I think
to the Titan, which
you spelled it reckon? Nerve-wracking.
Let's see if they do.
I feel like that's from a song or something then.
Start to rotate to mid lane. Simplicity have 4 members alive. Beads are
Where the fuck was that wall?
Two alongside the ultimates. Hammer from Genetics does hit onto Panitum on the front side, but the Phoenix has fallen down, and Sanguine this time, arguably the correct call, will take the middle Phoenix and fall back to defend the left-hand side and pressure the tier 2.
The reserved call.
Yes.
I like it because if they all in commit, they're going to lose way too much in response.
2 times in a row, you lose at the Titan. You've got to change something, and I think this is the correct call.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Fucking A, man. I guess I'm
3 times in a row. Sanguine gonna wait for greener
Nerve-wracking.
pastures to present themselves because honestly, Simplicity
Nerve-wracking.
were just caught a little bit too off guard by not having the vision around Fire Giant. Sanguine pushed up.
Man, stupid.
With that 1 pick onto Death Panther, having that 5-on-4, the whole map was theirs to do as they please. No real way that Maniac was going to steal that Fire Giant up against
This is a best of 3, remember, and Simplicity are up 1-0. This one's not over just yet, however. Simplicity still have a chance. We've seen them defend well. They've managed to hold up the time.
I feel like it's in time we got the wing bait as well.
There's only 1 Phoenix remaining now. Simplicity have, you know.
Simplicity could definitely win that one, but no, they actually want to commit to play defense now because
They could not do that because Horror's ultimate as well. Like,
No minions on this left-hand side just yet, and no carry either at the moment as he's trying to get in range. Genetics to the backside, Maniac with the ultimate too. Looking for a storm which hits.
they do no damage. Definitely ultimate, they no damage.
But the Kraken deleted Maniac.
Dude, they're literally smacking them.
And the bees will do the dirty work. Now
Sanguine is literally popping.
Will take down another member and a celebratory wing fire
What the fuck, man?
Taking us to a game 3 between the North American minor league team Sanguine and Simplicity.
the #2 NASML team.
Holy
giving
shit,
the
dude.
#1 EU SML team a run for their money, bringing this set.
Holy
down to a
fuck.
Third game. What a performance, being able to bounce back mentally after a 40+ minute game with still some errors to be fixed with some of these ending calls. I think
Not saying it was a perfect game, but I mean, it was definitely worth, it was definitely fun to watch.
between these two teams, because whoever wins this is guaranteed to go through the bracket into the finals to see who faces off against Dignitas or Rival.
Completely agree as well. You talk about the nerves factor there. I think it's both teams have felt time and again they should be winning this game. It's come back to haunt them a little bit. 2 games down though, and we're still no closer to find out who's going to win. Finch, Taco, tell us all about that game.
I'm so glad you didn't ask to say who I thought was going to win, though. It's been so back and forth. It's so hard to
Holy
tell at
shit.
this point.
Actually a
Like I
good
said,
set.
MSI has
They
not
still have to play after
played
this. The
hard,
winners have
but
to
I
play
can't think of a
against
reason
Armada
why
after this, and
they
I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna watch it.
gotta talk to him a little bit about this set that we just
It's
watched.
just gonna be,
Multiple times they try and end, they can't get it done, and Simplicity are back in it. I thought we were gonna have a base race there at the end, but they back and they
Fuck.
go over. I mean,
Fuck you,
what-
Disrupt.
What was the big thing that you take away from?
This is scary now for Simplicity. That's #1 on my brain, and the reason why
Fucking
is
A,
because
man.
Sanguine to come back after a defeat in the fashion they suffered to take over now in game 2.
Monk
That is a
ass,
lot
dude.
of game momentum to kind of careen them through the rest of this set. I mean, 1 game on the line, best of 1 essentially, if you really want to, boil it all down. And the main thing that's really stuck out to me
Oh,
was
damn, this set is
Shinto.
nerve-wracking, man.
It was, I don't want to say a night and day performance, because it's not like his health was a poor display either, but it's just that Shinto has just been absolutely on fire so far.
I mean, Shinto's the carry for this team. I do think that is a correct analysis. I don't want to say everyone else can't contribute and can't carry when they
Wait,
do.
Shinto's the carry? No, no, no. Nitrat has been playing insane.
This team, and it does make them so difficult because he can do it in so many different styles. I
Wait,
mean,
Nitrat has been playing insane.
That's about as different, I think, in terms of contributions to your team as you can get between this one person.
Holy shit, the Terror ultimate damage.
That you've got to nail, and then like Hell, who's this sustainy, who positions so differently. So he's such a versatile tool for Sanguine.
The Terra switch up as well was massive for Sanguine. I think
Yeah.
the Terra was able to bring that extra little oomph of damage that
Oomph of damage.
There weren't really any question marks surrounding who was dying from Simplicity. They were just falling.
It's also a big sign for me that Sanguine has now.
Sometimes I wonder how much people think, like how big of an idiot I am when I watch my stream. Holy shit, dude. Fit XC, thank you for the follow.
Because Rangyu has looked really comfortable to me on this pick, and in
But
the
it's
game, the
fine.
sustain's been there for them, the control as well.
It's
I don't think it's gone
fine.
away.
The problem is for Simplicity, though, is they're going to be in a tight spot if they pick that first pick position and look to try and strip away the Horus, because they opted for Freya and Hell bans in Game 2. In Game 1, it was Erlong and Freya, but the one
That's another thing.
consistent they've had is keeping that Freya locked out. So if they were to opt for a Horus ban, I would imagine that would have to take place for the Hell, but then that just leaves Sanguine open.
Sanguine is
for
actually
either
playing really well.
Opposite Mob or a Hell run back for Shinto.
Yeah.
And that Hell was quite literally
Sanguine,
hell for Simplicity to
you're
deal with.
popping off.
This is a bit of a picks and bans conundrum now for Simplicity, because the Amuzen Cobb has come through multiple times, the Horus has come. I mean, it's so difficult to try and make sure they're taking everything away from the Sanguine roster, because that Keystone, like you mentioned there with Shinto, can play so much. It's so difficult to ban him entirely. Then where do you try and
Why are you not using dark mode, dude?
from playing
That's
comfortably?
fucking nerve-wracking.
He performed even better on the Terra than the RDO. I think it does become a difficult problem.
You got your tickets yet to come back?
Simplicity,
Nope,
I
not yet,
think,
not yet.
came into this set today
Probably
expecting
gonna
to encounter the
get them
Sanguine
soon.
Yesterday, who was dealing with that rival
They
console
said it,
team,
right?
but I can't stress it enough, Finch. Sanguine is a team where they're going to feed off of your life force, and that feels like exactly like what they're doing to Simplicity right now. There's tension very clearly.
Let's
Fails.
go.
Trying to get a little bit of that back massage from Hawk.
That's big plays from the coach right there, man.
Need the support, man.
Light hurts. Light hurts more than dark mode, for me at least. But actually, I've seen that it's actually a problem for some people with dark mode. It gives them headaches having dark mode on. Wouldn't it be cheaper the sooner you get them? Probably.
Then Simplicity have to be concerned. Death Pander's tried applying pressure to him with some heavy pressure picks. You've got Uller,
Probably.
you've got Hachiman, and neither
Depending how like I understand that.
Now, I do want to say, I think this is Simplicity's first time being first pick, because Sanguine got it the first time, and then they picked it when they lost after game 1. So we'll see if maybe that is the adjustment Simplicity want to make here. In that first pick, maybe they can kind of
Sometimes I fucking
and try and limit their options. But the Freya Hell, I mean, that's the same things they were banning either way, right? Last game was.
I hate the game sometimes.
Too many adjustments. It's just a question of maybe they can be the one
Nick,
that grabbed the
minute, you ain't coming back. I'm coming back. It's just like
This is a risky toss-up though for Simplicity because Sanguine.
yeah, I don't know why I don't have my ticket yet.
They want to ban that Amu's and Cobb, but I'm starting to believe it might be the correct direction to head in. But no, instead it's going to be the Osiris, and Simplicity now have the option.
Osiris ban again.
Amu's in if they want, and
why not?
Yeah.
sure enough, that's gonna
Surely Amu's and Cobb is just putting so much pressure on the map.
prove to us that they have a strategy to beat this.
Maybe they should prove that Merlin is still in the game. I would
Live in
love to see
Australia?
that prove it, but maybe it's not
Do you think
something
Australia is fucked?
I mean, he's looked great on everything else he's played so far, right? So why switch it up? Sanguine has
Why switch it
elected
up?
to go previously into like the Horus in this one with that second pick.
What are you holding? I'm holding a tripod for my webcam.
It's viable if they want to grab that one here too.
But
yeah,
we're just playing with it.
They love this pick for Wrong You.
Sanguine are playing rather aggressively, so it's been working out for them fairly well. And with the Chronos being locked in,
You
very
hate
hard
it?
to see that Sanguine aren't going to opt to let Simplicity take
I mean, I would assume gaming-wise, Australia's not that good either.
So Simplicity are
Any gaming community is trash? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
stripping Sanguine of tools that they've used previously.
Also, time zone-wise, when it comes to streams and stuff, I assume it's pretty bad.
Benitham and
That's their whole
Shinto
comp.
are both going to have to figure something else out.
They're just taking their comp from last game, right? Then there's the Naja, the Muzikab, and the Poseidon. They were all running in that last match. And Simplicity are just saying,
Why the
"Listen,
heck is
we're
this
just taking away
teams?
from
What's up,
something else."
Elfo?
And the Muzikab,
Why the heck,
fine,
why the
that's
heck?
just a strong pick right now. Everyone probably
Why the
loves
heck, why the
that.
heck?
The Poseidon and the Naja, that feels a bit pointed, as in we're
You don't know the
taking
teams or what?
on something else.
I almost want a Terra here right now for Sanguine.
Simplicity
Just get the front line locked
and
down
Sanguine.
before Sanguine
It's SML teams.
first image after the fact, because Simplicity are still going to have to reveal the last couple of pieces that they're
Australian
looking for.
streamers
Sure,
usually move to
you
NA
know
if they're
Sanguine
successful.
can
Yeah,
get
I mean,
Terra right away,
that makes sense.
and this is going to be a really important tool.
Why doesn't it smell to land?
Because we just mentioned it. That Terra's
Yeah, I
blessing
mean,
was
to give them a
really
chance,
make or
I
break
guess.
difference in a lot of those engagements in game 2.
It is not just the burst they got to worry about, though. What about for Panatom? What's he going to be selecting here coming into this next match? He'll have to decide that on the back end.
To give them a little chance to prove themselves.
When your second pick, and what they have open, I imagine at this point, is either the flex between Netroid and Shinto, right, where they want this Chronos to go, and then the jungle. Would you rather have your jungler pick last, or I guess the flex between Netroid and Shinto?
Probably rather have the flex between Netroid and Shinto. Shinto is who Sanguine primarily works out of. Simplicity are more than aware of that by now, or at least they have to be
Let's hope,
by
right?
now. And with that in mind, then Sanguine should continue to target all these dive backline characters, which is exactly what we see. Jormungandr, Osiris,
They
and
picked the
Ross
Terra again. I feel like
as
Terra is so
they
good
take
as well.
away. Osiris
Terra's
might
definitely a good
seem
pickup
little
here.
oddball, for those of you back at home, but I can assure you, the sole reason why is because Lord of the Afterlife
Terra,
is an
Terra.
excellent engagement opportunity into the backline, and the last thing Sanguine needs for
The Agi ban. Makes sense with Poseidon MC not having CC immunity. I feel like Humbats could be a good ban as well.
But so is Afro. Maybe there's a chance if they keep his pick for the end of the game, they can go into a healer or something that would normally be really vulnerable and try and catch Simplicity off guard. That last pick to me could be potentially very interesting in a third game, the decider match here. So Simplicity to try and keep their options flexible throughout these last two picks as Sanguine really wait and
Max, thank God for that.
last ban, and they're gonna go at the Pele.
How many members of the to play with on the Sigma? I played with the Death Panther, the mid laner, and I played with Genetics, the support. Maniac used to play for Energy and a spell.
With the properly timed Sheriff's Blessing could
And Fails used to play for SK in SPL.
And we know that Genetics has it in his
Genetics not banned yet. Kappa Kappa. And Streak Up used to play for some other SML team that went to Combine and now is in SML again.
Draft and then decide where he wants to go. Does he want to keep the Chronos for himself? Does he want to pick his own mid laner? And it looks like that is the call Arachne picked in. This gives them a very strong 1v1 boxer. I think Arachne doesn't always want to fight right away. She can do some really good job clearing in the jungle and maybe wants to focus on that, but she can also just beat you if she catches you out, so this is a nice pick for Panatom.
Arlong's still open as well if Simplicity really want to buckle down with early game pressure, and if Arlong does come through, then I would probably anticipate it to be for Genetics, but then again, Arlong and Asia fairly interchangeable between jungle and support as choices. Hell,
Arachne on Sanguine. Oh no, not the Arachne. So missed it. Rat pressure together with Nisha plus the protection threat. Sanguine solo. Honestly, Sanguine solo can get a bit fucked by Arachne. I reckon it's Max Terra though. I reckon it's Max Terra though.
Fails loves this Ratatosker and can play it really, really well. And I talked about how Arachne can have some strong early presence, but it's pretty hard to beat
Red falls off late game, but Sanguine is super good late game. Poseidon Nisha is super good to get a late game, and AMC also does a lot of damage late game.
So this is great for Simplicity and the Jonquil to round it out. Gives them a ton of AoE to go along with the Poseidon.
It's really easy to do though, isn't it? The unintentional pun.
Yeah.
I feel like I do that so often, and I swear I'm never thinking about it.
Yeah, the pause there was me trying to find a way out of it and to not do
And
it.
then
And
you
I was
can.
like,
You're
and
just
then I was like,
oh,
nope, I gotta do
I
it.
have to go over the cheesy line now.
Jing Wei comes through. Okay, so this is Jing Wei is still a pretty strong pick.
Jing Wei.
Safety, some late game crit, especially
Jing Wei, dude.
Draft. I actually really
There's a
like
lot
this
of
Jing
pressure
Wei.
to lose against MC though.
Jing Wei selection here for Netroid. It's also going to give him the flexibility option to prioritize crit in his build, and Hunters always fare best whenever they're able to get away with crit chance damage there, Finch. And not only that, but Jing Wei also excellent if she gets pulled by the Windfire wheels. Just on the case that she bounces when she lands, she still has the ability to agility away. Airstrike as well is really efficient, and agility is also super efficient against the Ratatosker on gank opportunities.
This is a great last pick here for Sanguine. It feels like a lot's going to come down to how well they can get this Arachne to work for them.
How's your day been going, Info?
Meanwhile, on the other side, Simplicity just have a lot of picks that really work for them, and they force Sanguine to change their draft. I think both their teams have actually done a pretty good job in the picks advance here.
Why you want to play inner ranked? Inner ranked is pretty good actually.
If Sanguine don't
At least better than Oceania. I guess you can't even play Oceania ranked.
Simplicity aren't able to snowball, then I think Sanguine
How do you even find Smite this shot bay? Like in OC? I guess there used to be Smite in OC as well.
Let's see if that upset can happen here. The winner of this match makes it into the rest of the MSI bracket. Let's get this over to Hindu and Toli.
It all comes down to this. Simplicity, 1 win. Sanguine, 1 win.
See what's gonna happen, man. Let's see what's gonna happen. We're looking to invade here. Oh, they're gonna get the spiders.
Sanguine on the chaos, and already Simplicity aggressive into the left-hand side. More than anything, to get rid of some sneaky dirt.
I don't understand why I put the spiders in red anyways. He's gonna go to red.
Simplicity did their research as to how Panatom starts off on this Arachne, dropping the webs on the red.
The Panatom stuff was so shit anyways. Like, what is it doing?
Solo that one out. Not gonna be allowed this time around. Gonna slow down the start from Panatom, and I think the Arachne pick was just to discourage any potential invades. It's like, hey, listen, I'm tired of getting invaded. If you invade me, I might just kill you.
Keep an eye on Genetics here, because this is the first time he started in the duo lane on the support option. Blink in, ring toss on Netroid. Netroid knocks himself up to try and buy some time, but he still needs help, and he ain't gonna get any. Genetics will get first blood. Well, it's either a speed buff or a first blood. Which one do you want to give him?
Yeah, they didn't expect that.
3 for 3 for making
And Arachne is not doing blue buff now. I'm so confused.
Of all the impacts has been the strongest, because now
I'm so confused.
To invade the purple buff after the fact. Netroid not going to lose too much farm because of the Jing Wei passive, but still, that death did go to the credit of Genetics. Now, obviously, supports, you would rather be on someone else, but a Naja support is a good look.
Sash from Genetics just as a swamp him streak up.
And I played small use that you played. You think so? I don't think so.
Hello, hello, hello. Bids are available for streak up if he wanted to go.
Purple is still up.
Changed his tune
We're like 3 diamonds plus an OC. That's OP. Do you play what server do you play on when that happens?
We've not spoke about it just yet, but there's a Jean Kui over there this game for Maniac. One of his bread and butters from days gone by. Is this to try and make use of the situation they present?
It definitely is, and I think that it should be a-okay in terms of surviving any sort of pressure.
Yeah, but do you play on OC servers or what?
in a
Australia
matchup
servers?
against
Holy shit.
Guardian. Maniac has all the freedom to do whatever he wants, and even getting a blue buff over Oxy because of that.
I mean, I don't think it's the spill players who made EU ranked good. Like, I think it's just after EU, the pros moved away is because then a lot of players lost motivation to play.
A little bit more aggressive coming out of the solo lane this time from Maniac. Just to maybe make
Your scene is bigger than it used to be. Wait, is it?
the team fights, because you can't leave the Jean Kui unchecked. He's gonna have sustain and he's gonna be very, very
I don't understand why.
The last game, the Yamaterasu is also a great team fight goddess between her mobility, between that CC ultimate, but it just wasn't.
Who won today? Amada won. True, what a good time.
You know, Amaterasu versus a Jean Kui, that's why I'm more interested, because I feel like Jean is more of a
Oh
damage
my
threat than
god.
Amaterasu. Am is more of a nuisance, an unkillable nuisance, so to speak. Whereas Jean Kui is going to be like, hey, you have to pay attention to me, or I'm going to turn the game around.
I totally agree with you in that aspect. I think that Amaterasu is probably better the longer the team fight lasts because of that aura, but if you are too clumped up, Maniac is going to make you pay that ultimate price. And it's also so difficult to gank a Jean Kui. It's also difficult to gank an Amaterasu, but the way players have been building these mages or guardians with the Pythax piece, that lifesteal gonna be a big factor.
Well, this time round, Simplicity got the first blood this game, still have a lead again. Fails though, trying to invade the blue right-hand side, up against Panitom and Oxy. Well, managed to find it this time round. Is a good job from the boys in, well, red this time round.
What the fuck? Did he get it? I got it.
Looked at by Genetics with that sash. Great knock-up gust from Netch.
Yeah, I'm definitely not watching the last set.
Trying to babysit the blue.
Do you know Texas? I mean, I know, kinda know who he is.
Not gonna have any health by the end of it either.
A smart play, honestly. If there's nothing else for you to do on the minimap,
I think I followed him on
you might
Twitter.
as well identify where
Texie
exactly
X.
the enemy is going and capitalize on it. Without a blue buff, this Terra pick becomes so much trickier to run.
Did Shinto steal his starter item there? That's just intriguing to me what happened. Because I'm not sure if he did have a starter because I wasn't paying attention. But the fact that mid-first slot is empty here tells me that he may have just sold his Mage's Blessing at the start and then very quickly upgraded to a Python.
That's a big power spike play if he did. It's a
Came up position? Shit, I didn't change that. Sorry.
As a Chronos, you either want the basic attack damage from the Hunter's Blessing or the Mage's Blessing to be able to get that 10% cooldown reduction, to be able to deal.
He got trial for the rival. He was going to get the spot, then Flame came along and took it.
4 minutes in is pretty good. 200 health, 10%.
That's pretty crazy.
24%
I mean, I remember they played pretty good on Atletico. I remember they used to play pretty good on Atletico. So it definitely makes sense.
That extra 200 health I believe you're going to get from Pythax piece may allow you to survive the Kraken or the Fails dunk as well.
That's pretty sad though. Would have been nice to have like a Oceania representative.
That's one reason to get it. Like if you don't have access to the Aegis, that health will help out. Obviously, the timing of the Pythax piece was completed as Death Panther and Shinto was level 5, so Kraken is a big threat. That 200 health could boost you over the edge to get off the rewind, but you're sacrificing a lot by selling off that blessing.
I do think though that at the same time, maybe like you said, the lifesteal will come into play. It is an aura effect and does help out for the team. So maybe he wants to keep them topped up in health.
No, they're doing the same mistake again.
Do their best Sanguine impression there, missing the Windfire Wheels Kraken combo, and Panther is now under pressure. He's gonna beads, but Maniac is here, and the ghosts are being.
They're doing the exact same mistake.
Fails in the sky, knocks up Rongu, Oxy turns.
Oh, the fucking Terror ultimate, dude.
The ultimate 2. Rongu still dancing in, but a quick blink sash from Genetics sets up Fails for the kill. Fails.
Oh, the ring toss.
Spiders and has to run away. Still alive for
If you had mana for the root there, that would have been sick.
one trade in a very awkward position in the jungle.
Good rotation from Oxy, but it just wasn't enough. The damage was too much coming through from Fails and Genetics. And we're getting word that it was actually a Mage's Blessing that was sold at the beginning of the game as he was leaving the base anyway. So he was kind of rushing it regardless.
It's better for me to check up and ask that question than have the fans at home go, what happened there? You didn't say anything. So, might as well
So this blessing for Pythax? Yeah, he did.
Too much to talk about. With that though, Simplicity then find 2 kills up against the 1 in that middle area. Definitely A bit of a miscommunication.
Is that worth it?
But we
A little
can't
bit.
read too much into it because, like we said, we saw Sanguine do that earlier on.
That's right. Fails was able to capitalize with that ultimate, being able to kind of put Planetum in an awkward position this early on without purification beads. When you use
I don't know,
your
bro, if that's worth it.
You're basically a sitting duck at the end of the day.
Well, with that left hand, Oracle's gonna
I mean, you just need the rings to be strong anyways. If you're mage pressing or not, doesn't matter.
streak up this time.
It's still like good for mana reading and good induction.
He's had to deal with the bees. Now he gets to provide them to the enemy team.
This is a huge identity shift for Simplicity's mid and hunter position, because normally Streak Up is the one playing the mages, and it's Deathpanner playing the hunters. So maybe that's another reason why Deathpanner just needs to kind of, you know, put some oil on the gears to get it more fluid.
Now right hand side this time round, Minix has done a much better job.
I mean, the one thing is, he probably need, Nisha probably didn't need to ultimate. Like, they was fine with the sash.
On the lane, sure, but he didn't manage to take down that tower at all or get any damage on it for a considerable amount of time. Simplicity have paid a little bit more attention now to making sure they find an even bigger win out of a solo lane.
With a ready 5 Totem of Coup, 625 gold accumulated for Simplicity.
That's Streak Up dead.
Streak up under pressure, beats down.
Oh, what a knock up in the...
Connects, and that was just a masterpiece to watch.
Oh my god.
Maybe Genetics can turn this around. I was just keeping an eye to see if he was going to try and catch someone there, but Sanguine playing it better safe than sorry.
He does have a blink, but Netroid's still with beat, so even if he does get stunned, he should be A-okay that time around. A good knock up into the airstrike. Streak Up really had nowhere to go there without the use of his Aegis, and it's going to delay now that Transcendence that he's building.
It's always 3,500 gold now so far for Simplicity here, less than 10 minutes in. That's a substantial amount for the stage of the game.
Another 500 gold because of that tier 1 tower. Maniac has the advantage that we expect him to have. It is a substitute instead of Yarkor. Yarkor, the way he played in the online portion, was very aggressive.
I think Netroid and Rongu just bit off more than they can chew. Windfire wheel stops Netroid jumping in the gust. He'll have it afterwards to dash away, but straight into the grasp of the waiting AMC. And Fails will get credit for the kill. Meanwhile,
They got
Rongu
double kill here.
is
Shit, dude.
to get his teammate away, but ends up being a
That's
casualty
crazy.
war because of it. And Simplicity get another 2 kills of Sanguine being a little bit too over-aggressive on the left-hand side.
Avenging their hunter's death about a minute ago. Really wanting to punish the fact that Netroid still didn't have the airstrike available for the disengage. Rongu was at the wrong place at the wrong time as well.
I think you're right with what you said there, mainly the airstrike. We just saw them get a kill with the airstrike, and being that far forward without it, on their own with just 2 of them, it's a little bit risky without wall coverage too. Simplicity now with a big old window to open. The Gold Fury is available. It's getting
Is that go through? Oh, the shit, and this dude's gonna be far ahead, dude.
to worry, we're going to see the old classic best of 3 final game situation where it's going to be a one-sided affair here.
It's looking like it's a start. This is
Wait, I thought they're pretty equal, but I've not been paying too much attention. I'm super tired, but just watching the last 2, and then I'm gonna go off.
Every time in these games so far, it was Sanguine that had the kill lead, but they were doing a better job in the objective control, neutral ones. Not necessarily Gold Fury, but the mid camps, the back camp invades, the Totem of Coups. This time around, they're getting the best of every single category.
And now Rongu under pressure, who's been in this lane all day long. Fails in the sky, knocks up Rongu, stuns him too. Rongu trying to buy as much time as possible, but he won't be able to jump back to Netroid in time. He'll fall down as even Maniac
Oh, no.
rotation to mid now.
Oh, well, at least in this is winning. That's really good.
Left that side.
This level 7 horror is not tanky quite yet. Sheen, so
Oh.
forced to use that rewind, but now Maniac
Oxy Ledeon has to stop rotating and start farming.
Tower's already taken away, and Shinto's in the wrong part of town right now and doesn't really have an escape option. But Simplicity not interested in chasing there. Instead, they're looking to barrel down.
Surely, Joe's, thank you for them.
As we mentioned, the tier one
Simplicity, simplicity.
sniff out Shinto after the rewind was used. Couldn't quite find him there, but now he's going to be forced to play defense up against Netroid. Split pushing Simplicity are just so on point with all the objective controls. Where was the Simplicity in games 1 and 2? Because even though they did win game 1, it wasn't clean at all.
It was definitely an anger situation, I feel like, here coming out from Simplicity, where they've managed to, well, they got first pick.
I don't want to say the game was over yet,
So it's
but Simplicity with that big lead is gonna be scary.
They're not letting off the gas, but they're not going to the extreme Sanguine did in game 1. They're taking it step by step, tower by tower.
Because the thing is,
Well, I don't want to say it's over yet.
the
It's too
first
early.
phase online, they won 6 in a row completely. And it was in pretty dominating fashion, I would say. So the fact that they started off a little bit slow against Sanguine is surprising to me. Even though Sanguine is a very highly contested team, this is a team with a substitute still that has a completely different style than Yarkor. Because Oxy has been playing all these passive Guardians between the Ardio, between the Terra, and Yarkor is known to play like the Balonas, the Osiris's, trying to like get in your face and contest you. So I think this is really hurting Sanguine's just feelings about the set.
And the winner of this one, remember, will go on later today to face off against Armada to find out, just for seeding, who will face off against Rival or Dignitas.
Who will face up against Rival or
If you're
Dignitas?
Armada, I don't know who you'd rather face with how this one's played out. Both teams are going to be warmed up.
Well, hold that thought though, because in the mid lane, trading ultimate for ultimate, we were interviewing Armada a little bit earlier, and they kept making little jabs at Hurley. So I think they would kind of want to face Dignitas.
They want to face Dig?
Yeah, I think they do.
We'll see what they can do, but I wouldn't want to face either of these teams, first of all.
Have you guys watched the new Spider-Man yet, by the way?
Though, definitely with the advantage. Teleport coming in from Oxy, who pops the ult straight away. Kraken does delete him
Oh,
from the map, though. Streak
a kill?
Netro trying to make sure he answers
A kill?
message
A kill?
gets the kill.
No?
But
You have?
Phantom ends up
Did you like it,
going
Libius?
straight to Bales. Shinto, meanwhile,
Yeah, that's over Sanguine, I think.
by Maniac on that Jean-Qui.
It's not every day you see a 12.5-minute tier 2 tower dive, but with this kind of lead from Simplicity,
5-3-4, hello.
Even Maniac was
You really liked it?
diving.
I want to watch it as well.
His blink wasn't quite available. He was in combat as well, but still splitting the map.
I want
controlling
to
every
watch it.
aspect of it.
I want to go to bed
Early
soon,
game mine was
because
from
man's
Maniac.
tired.
Level 13 Jean-Qui is
So I'll get into why I liked it.
off.
Thank you for not spoiling.
Above his competition.
Yeah, game 3 seems to be a masterclass from Simplicity so far of trying to control this game. And hello,
No way.
hello. Another fire giant. This one at 13 minutes being started. Rongyu's having none of it though. That was way too quick, Rongyu. Way too quick on the initiation. He's going to end up falling down, and now Sanguine
I don't like this Death Bender zoom. It's what, 3 AM there? No, it's almost midnight.
But he just narrowly avoids death. Shinto forced to disengage.
Oxy's going to run away with the barest amount of health towards Netroid, who turns up on the Jingwei. The explosive bolts won't find a home on Fails.
It's only midnight. I just like,
Doom and gloom, because Simplicity didn't get the fire jump.
I'm just tired today. I didn't get much sleep.
I still think it's too early to go for this objective.
And also it's kinda, it's like kinda a lot of energy to sit and use on watching these games. Even though you shouldn't really think it. It's better chill, right?
Allowed Simplicity to win game 1 was Sanguine's impatient of going for a 9
But I've been streaming for what?
half-minute fire giant. This time around, Simplicity
7 hours?
beat that record by
And surely some days I can go 12 hours without being tired. Some days I go with 7 hours being tired. It's just like every day can be 12 hours.
It definitely does present the
When you got the casties with Chapo, I was, but he ended up sleeping, I think.
going to push down the lanes.
That's one
And
way.
Sanguine's going to sit back.
That's certainly one way they can do it.
Yeah, he ended up
They
sleeping.
can assist those waves to guarantee 200 gold across 3 ways. An extra 4,500 gold certainly wouldn't hurt the efforts of
So I did the first one with Ducky.
to this bracket.
Biggest experience difference really is in the jungle and solo lane position so far. Oxy's done what he can, but at the moment the Windfire Wheels has come into play and caught Rongyu and the wrong side of town. Oxy with a
I mean, I've not had that many viewers, so
disappointing, but there's no
um,
damage just yet. It's only genetic slow, and it's
I'm fine with just sitting and chilling.
He's removed by the map from Streak Up. Into the sky goes Fails, and
Not putting in too much effort, you can say.
He'll fix that one. Shinto gets a 3-man stun, but he's got no further follow-up damage available. And Simplicity get 3 kills for the price of 1.
Not gonna push with the Oni wave, instead gonna reset, spend all that gold in hand, and then look for the objectives after the fact. A great play.
Tira's level 10.
Maniac controlling a lot of space. The
I don't know.
engagement from Genetics. This is a support Naja that's putting himself out of position.
What's up, Caleb? How you doing, buddy?
He lands the ultimate, gets
It
the
looks like
follow-up,
GG.
he's
I
with
think it's a
Thunder.
GG.
Quick pick onto Rongyu allows the rest of the fight to go Simplicity.
I do think this is
They're
GG.
swimming.
I think my biggest complaint about Sanguine in this third game is the carry position. Shinto and Netroid, they've been so instrumental in the performances Sanguine have put on here, but they're on such late game gods, Toli. It takes so long for both of these to really start to make an impact. You saw Shinto the last fight, he found 2 3-man stuns, but it still wasn't enough to find anything. and now they're just having to play this waiting game where Simplicity are taking everything around them.
Oh my goodness, now Simplicity with
Oh
a
my god,
very
Phil
good
just
fire
one-shot
shot,
Nisha.
completely
No,
dominating
urging
Sanguine.
way.
Nothing that they can really do about that
Does
one
he have blink?
losing the last fight
He does have
three
blinks, I
games.
can kill him if he
Totally
wants to.
right, Numan.
Blink
The
2.
way Shinto and Metroid have been able to carry the likes of Sanguine online doesn't translate in this set.
As you
Not
do.
at least in the first 2 games. I mean,
What's up, Pope? What's good, dude?
in those
Oh,
positions
but.
played really well, but they just not got the damage in the
I think the 7-hour stream is pretty good as well.
It's in. Wrong use stuns genetics in.
Oh my god, he got knocked out. He got crippled.
And the Windfire Wheels does the dirty work. Oxy will stay alive for now as Maniac gets aggressive but fails his follow-up. Is at least presenting enough of a window for Simplicity to take their first Phoenix of the game.
A 17-minute Phoenix on top. Very fast this time around. I think Simplicity have fixed all of their mistakes this time around. And the answer was just simply getting the Poseidon and the Musenkov. Steal the B. That's true. In game number 1, it was funny because Sanguine, they actually first picked the Musenkov instead of Merlin. In fact, nobody picked Merlin in that game 1. I don't even know if it was banned.
Took a shower, now I'm here. Took a shower, now I'm here. I might stream some TFT after this game. I'm not gonna watch the last game though. But I might also just stop the stream and then lay in bed or something.
Fails couldn't really do much on the Erlong Shen in that second game between the cripple, between also the burst damage, preventing the kill from going off.
Totally, I'm looking at how this is played out. I think this might be the last set we see a Musenkov for a little while. The SPL games, the players are going to be here tomorrow and still the rest of today. I think we're going to see more of AMC getting banned away from now on, not slipping through that net as often.
These teams have been
Loving the caster videos. I mean, I think they've been quite good. I'm also gonna upload a few tonight. Also gonna upload a few tonight. And also I've been sick. I don't know if you can hear that on my voice. But being sick and getting shitty quality of sleep and getting too little amount of sleep and whew. I'm gonna do a spell tomorrow. I'm gonna do a spell tomorrow as well. Tomorrow? Yeah, I'm gonna do everything.
Because no one else could go on Streak Up as a result.
I think it was more telegraphed because Rongu has done it time and again.
The Bob Frenzy and then. They don't have enough damage to kill anybody, dude. Honestly, Shinto is level 18. Oh my god, somebody did 400 on AA. Did Streak Up do 400 on AA?
It took a long time for Simplicity to get to this point, but I don't think it'll take long this in under 20 minutes. Simplicity have had enough. They're moving on to face Armada in the finals here today.
Congratulations to the #1 European Smite minor league team beating the #2 North American representative in the very epic best-of-3 game. 40+ minutes.
You do sound sick? Yeah, exactly. Alright, I'm not gonna watch the last set. It's just
almost sealing the deal. You gotta look back at that 19-minute fire giant.
I don't think the last set matters. It's just I can show you.
In this game number 3, Simplicity with the lead, able to get
Smite schedule.
15-minute fire giant instead.
We're in season 6 of Smite now.
The only thing it is the qualifier for who plays against rival, who plays against Dictators. It doesn't really matter to me, and I'm also tired. Did you make it to the dentist? No, I cancelled. I literally don't care who plays who. That last game is not important.
I wouldn't mind another 2 games of that if I could have him, but not this time round. Simplicity advanced. Sanguine eliminated.
Damn, that sucks for Sanguine.
A tough loss there for Sanguine, but it's hard not to feel good about the strong performance Simplicity just put forward here, Taco. Congratulations to them. Along with Armada, they've made their way into the MSI bracket. The work's not done. They'll be fighting in just a moment for seeding, but those 2 teams already know they're going at least till Wednesday.
And this was just the start for a lot of these.
Is it mine? No, tomorrow's gonna be a spell teams.
Make it this far. Huge congratulations to both of these teams, of course. But
tomorrow's gonna be SPL teams.
Just yet. Still need to see who's gonna be playing against who, and well, when your decision's rival or Team Dignitas, I'm not sure that it really matters right now.
No, those are both really difficult obstacles, whichever one of them you end up with. And if it sounds like I'm putting off breaking down that last game, it's because
Men's LG next event? Oh, it's gonna be in Startup August or something.
Excuse me, Sanguine in that last matchup just now. And the reason
We're gonna start practicing soon as well.
Played well in that game, 7-0-9 on the right of Tosker.
I'm gonna upload this game to YouTube as well. So you guys can watch that if somebody is interested in that. I feel like it's a bit, I wouldn't say annoying, but I would have liked to have seen a few more people tune in the chat and have like conversation about the games. That would have been like way more fun and interesting to watch, I believe. That ranked us literally cared that last fight. Holy shit. Or that, not last fight, but that clip there. What else I didn't hit? I don't like that Arachne on that guy. On Peloton. Nope, nope, nope.
That's right. I mean, there was a couple of issues, right? That the Amusin Cobb was taken away along with the Poseidon, and that hurt them. But consider this was the first time I feel like Maniac really proved.
But I do appreciate you guys watching.
This Sanguine team really bullied him this game in that solo lane, taking the tower at something like 7.
I'm a go off. When the students say shit not enough, that's not what I mean.
Fails was against this Arachne for Panatom. Did fall behind too soon, and I think finally we saw a bit.
It sometimes can be not hard to get like to just sit and talk, even though there's a game I can commentate on. It just like sometimes it's like the chat can kind of carry, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm gonna listen to the interview and then I'm gonna be watching the finals here. Big glass of water, yeah, stay hydrated, right? I'm not gonna go to bed instantly, I'm gonna fix some YouTube stuff and probably play a Teamfight Tactics game. Teamfight Tactics.
I agree with you 100%, man. What a strong performance there from him. These were the two teams that we expected, right? That it would be Armada in the end here, and that it would be Simplicity. It was a little bit more drama, I think, than perhaps we expected in getting them there. That's how heavily favored they initially were. But Hype Unit really stood up. Sanguine really stood up for me too. I really loved the performance from those guys. They just unfortunately could not quite get it done, Taka.
Can't help but wonder. I think Sanguine's going to look back on game 1 and definitely have some mixed feelings over it, because this set nearly was a 2-0, I think, finish.
I think so too. They almost had it, just could not quite close it out. But on a happier note, the winners of this one, Simplicity, are standing by.
Smite.
Let's hear a little bit from Maniac and Fails.
They're playing again soon.
Here with Maniac and Fails. Congratulations, first of all, over your win. You're now making it through, but you have to go over Armada to see who faces off.
Just for those who want to watch.
Gotta ask you,
I mean,
your faces after the victory in game number 1.
Probably can do so.
What were the emotions after that victory?
I mean, it was a pretty bad game by us, to say. I mean, that's the least I can say. So I don't know. I feel like the team is kind of let down from our performance, but hopefully we get a step up the next game.
Did Sanguine surprise you guys today? Because like coming into that, listening to Hawk on the interview beforehand, it seemed like you guys were quite confident in that. Obviously you found the W, but it wasn't as clean as all that. Did Sanguine really surprise you?
Yeah, we watched the games versus Rival, and like obviously I have a sub solo and they struggled against them. But then like they played the early and mid so well, and we weren't and we weren't used to the Horus or the Hell or anything like that. So we came in prepared as much as we could, but like our gameplay was just wacky.
Game number 3 looked very clean and looked nothing like games 1 and 2 for both of you teams, honestly. So what was it between mental transition-wise that allowed such a dominating fashion?
I feel like we were just like, I guess, scared. Like we fell behind so much in the first game, 1 and 12 or 0 and 12, and then like by the time we realized what we had to do to win a fight, we finally did it at the end. But other than that,
We finally did that at the end.
Maniac, my next question to you, really. Honestly, it's not always easy when you know you're against a substitute in the lane of trying to abuse the situation. How hard is it for you to actually deal with that sort of, situation of going against a substitute expected to win the lane and then maybe not doing as much as you would hope?
I mean, I'd rather play against, the full team. It's always better, because I feel like when you play against a team that's playing with a sub, I feel like you're kind of handicapped, right? So the win doesn't feel as good, especially the way we played. So I don't know, I tried to do my best, like I think I had the early game lead and mid game lead like every game, even though like the first, second game didn't really matter, I don't think. And then the third game, yeah, I mean I had a huge lead and we just snowballed the game. Yeah.
Jongadongo special, right? Last question then, you're going to face off against Armada next. Are we going to see 3 games again, or are we going to see something different?
I think we're warmed up now, 2-0.
Cheeky 2-0 for the boys?
Quick
All right,
2-0.
well, best of luck to you guys. That's Simplicity Esports.
I don't
We'll
think
see
it'll do
you
2-0
guys
after
on the
that,
screen
but
after
we'll
the
see.
break.
Alrighty.
We will see. Capital D, colon. Probably Pille, Erlang, Ratatusker. There's like a few more. I can basically almost play whatever. Right now I'm like pretty bad at most stuff. But usually I can pretty much play whatever.
Gods and goddesses, welcome.
Just need to warm up after playing mid for that
An
long.
all-new event featuring new gods, a never-before-seen pantheon, and all new skins, including an unlockable Tier 5 skin for Kukulkan. Khan. Battle for Olympus
Khan.
kicks off with the release of Horus and Set, the first ever dual god release in Smite. Will you side with Horus?
Alright, chat. I'm gonna be stopping the stream. Man's tired. I would maybe have streamed League of Legends Teamfight Tactics, but I'm too tired. HRX. Yeah, I'm most likely gonna be at HRX. I hope to see some of you guys there. Too bad. Yeah, I gotta respect it if I also gotta be grinding tomorrow. I'm gonna start the stream in a good time before I get too tired. Who do we host there? Who do we host there? Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Also, if you're not really enjoying the MSI content, there's gonna be MSI